Hello, Nasukta. Can you hear me alright? This is a totally new setup for me. I've just switched to OBS. So if there are any difficulties during the stream today, you will have to bear with me. Just figuring out a whole new interface. Good to see you though. Hello, Future Cityscape. How's it going? Oh, I'm glad you could make it. Hear me loud and clear. That's excellent. And is the game volume all right in comparison to my voice? A lovely Pathologic main theme. It's going to ease us into it. Awesome. Thank you. Sweet. Did some tweaking. It's just been figuring out a new system and making sure that it's actually holding steady. So that's good. Always get kind of it's always fraught, right? The technology behind all of this. It's a wonder I've been able to stream anything. Alright, so we're going to get back into some Pathologic. Goodness knows it has been a painfully long time since I have played this. As I recall, I was in a really bad spot, so in the morning of day 8. Had I found Clara or not? Yes, we left the district. So basically, the objective at the moment is just to survive. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna switch this over to the other side of the screen so it doesn't cover my infection thing. I'm not even sure if this overlay is good or not, but I figured I'd stick it up there for now. All right, so. It has been a hot minute. I think the last time I streamed this must have been last year, so at least 5 months ago. But it's probably more like half a year ago or something. It feels like. So yeah, gotta reorient myself. It's kind of getting the blind playthrough experience back. It's like I've just been dumped in the middle of someone else's playthrough almost. What was I doing? So the situation's pretty bad. Oh! Too much Terminator. You didn't catch the early Clara streams. Sweet surprise. I wasn't sure, up until the last minute, I was tossing up. I was thinking, I'm either going to stream this or Terminator, but I keep feeling guilty that I haven't played any more Pathologic. Clara's just been sitting there in limbo for so long, so I figure what better time to jump back in than just completely randomly and surprise people. Hunger. So I think I started off with a pretty good surplus. You can see for some reason I have a lot of lemons. I got 24 lemons, always useful. But we're gonna just do a wee bit of bartering probably, because we got a wee bit of money to spare. We'll just grab this extra food. There's a lot of interesting stuff out there regarding the trading systems in this game. There was someone's thesis I was reading that observed the trade mechanics in this game as being an integral part of the survival horror, obviously. But their argument was the trade mechanics were the survival horror, that the barter system, etc., became at certain points almost meaningless and quite tense, really. Hello, sir. missed this guy. Yeah, Clara's combat, as you can see, remains pretty easy aside from when you get ambushed by rats. That's consistently unfun. Did I kill the rat, or I think I might have killed the rat somehow? That was a complete fluke. Okay. I mean, if it's not biting me anymore, that's fine. And for some reason, the kneeling animation didn't trigger that guard's inventory to be completely emptied. Do I have my... I don't actually have a girl boss gun at the moment, unfortunately. That's a bit poor of me. The other, yeah, the clapping sound is such an interesting interesting noise is probably the phrase. Just interesting, but I always really have liked the reputation system in this game. I think they could have really easily, like, I think it's just down to the wording. Like, they could have really easily called it like a morality meter or something. But the fact that it's responsibility, I think, really adds something to just the impression that the town is observing you. It's one of those sort of invisible kind of things that just happens in your brain. It sort of toggles on. I like that it's made you observant to additional clapping noises. That it did such a good job. Well, but yeah, I've never really been a fan of the strict morality meter. I don't like the player to feel judged by the developer. I feel like the judgment should either come from the other characters within the story, or the player themselves, sort of coming to terms with how terrible they're acting, how terrible they're being. So I really feel like you start to lose something when the game is telling you that you're evil. It gets pretty frustrating, especially if the game is only allowing you to be evil in really hackneyed ways. I'm thinking of Fallout 3, I think. And Fallout 3 has this horrible, like, you're either this really great person or you just blow people up. I mean, there's no in between. The water bottle system is perfect. Hey, Blue Voices, how you doing? Yeah, like, this is, the only good thing you can do is, like, give people water really outside the, like, that's the altruistic move. There's all these beggars sitting outside the cities for anyone who hasn't played Fallout 3, and for whatever reason the people don't move into the city, or try and go anywhere else that has any water. Just blow up an entire city, then give the homeless guy outside water. Both sides of the situation, it's fine. Yeah, somehow those acts balance each other out. Which is why, obviously, that the reputational system from New Vegas does at least go some way to sort of repairing that tension, I guess, between the developers being the only, like, arbiters of morality, like what's good and what's evil. I don't know. I just get it's just kind of frustrating when you. What is it? You can, like, reverse, or you can pickpocket a weapon off of, like, a villain or an evil character, but since they haven't technically done anything evil yet, you get given bad karma because you pickpocketed or something, because you used underhanded tactics. And just having that pop up in the top of the screen, it could have very easily just been, that your reputation in the area has dialed down, and I probably would have been way happier. So it's interesting to consider even just the words used, the kind of language used with game mechanics. No, it's still not great. There's definitely room to improve. But yeah, at least it does improve on 3's system. And it's been a long... I haven't touched 4 since it came out. Does that even have a... Does it have a reputation? I don't think it does it? There's nothing like that in there. How much are these? I'm gonna grab some... Do I already have any? Don't think so. I'm gonna grab some antibiotics here. And I'm gonna cart myself. Where have I even been sleeping? I don't know. Let's find a bed. We'll go to Lara's place. And we'll wait till we get our first letter, because I don't know if we've... Yeah. Yeah, kill all the big corners, steal all the crops, and fix a radio, and I'm a good person, yeah. So there is still, like, that kind of binary issue, and I mean, you can, like, exploit that in this game to a degree. You can still go around killing people, and then if you've got a lot of money, just give it all to one sick person, and all of a sudden you're a really saintly person again. So there is something to be said for a more considered approach, which again is something that Pathologic 2 tries to improve on by breaking reputation into an individual district kind of thing, which I thought worked really well. Fallout 4 had a your follower, remember that system, right? It was more of an individual relationship level rather than a societal level, which is a different kind of mode of interaction entirely, isn't it, really? What's going on here? Hello. We have been waiting for you, Harbinger. We believe you, as do many others. I'll gather the rest. Yes, I am the Harbinger. Where shall I take you? Take me to any shelter. Well now, let us go. Show us your miracle. Give us your blessing so that our setup is never discovered and we are not attacked on the way. Bless our feet, Harbinger. Here it is. Go ahead and run away when you know I was in the right. Ah! You can spawn rats. We've got 2 big rats and 1 little rat. That was just uncalled for. I don't think my answer was that rude. The albino's great. It's such a cool design. I remember when I first played this game, I saw that and it was truly this really... it was a shock, really, because, you know, you've only been interacting with people up until the point that you meet this thing. I know the Executor and the Tragedian are sort of, you know, a bit weird, but they're still, you can still imagine them as being people under the costume. But then you look at this and you think that there's no way this can be a person. So then you know that you're dealing with something totally unexpected, totally other. So glad the model was changed from an actual person. Yeah, this is much nicer than if it had just been an actual person. Can I talk to it again? You're the Changeling. We knew someone would come to tempt us. This is the punishment for my impertinence. I dared use my gift for personal gain. Can I ask? I want to try again. No? Doesn't spawn any more rats? Okay. Well, you have a good morning then. I'll see you later. Okay. Let's have a look-see here. Does she have anything for me?
It is not so dangerous to do wrong to most men as to do them too much good.
Have you forgotten something we've just discussed, or there was to discuss? I don't remember that. When was it? Just now, really? Yeah, it was a little while ago. Just a little while ago. How much health do I have? I'm gonna need... Oh, I'm out of bandages, right. So I'm, not doing so flash. If I save and take these antibiotics, hopefully they won't kill me. No, that's alright. And then I'll take some morphine and we will get some sleep. So we'll be back to full and we've dealt with the infection a little bit. So morning of the 8th day has come. 3,224 people dead. Day 8, in which the Changeling traces it all back to the source and realizes that the town desperately needs a true mistress. Alright. So, do we get a letter? The Bachelor's whereabouts. I know you're on your way to become the mistress of the earth. It's so good that I am so well acquainted with you, since we will have a lot to discuss when the time comes for us both to govern this town. To lay the basis for further negotiations, I'd like to ask a favour that a mistress may ask of another mistress. The Bachelor, the man whom I've chosen, fell victim to another man's hatred. This other man is someone we both despise, Burak the Haruspex, poor Artemy, who is going to become a warden and the new foreman soon. With his cohort of butchers and blood-crazed worms, Burak prowls all around the town. They may discover the Bachelor any moment now, and the servants that I have entrusted with helping him may not be enough to rebut the attack. Daniil is somewhere in the Backbone district near the town hall. I will offer you a decent reward. And we've got... where is the Haruspex from the Inquisitor? This is to inform you that the conflict between Artemy Burak and Bachelor Dankovsky has escalated out of proportion. It is as though they have made a decision to challenge each other. The situation is fraught with negative consequences. Blood will be spilled. The Bachelor knows no remorse. He is preparing for an offensive maneuver somewhere in the Backbone district. Haruspex is working somewhere in the Skinners district right now, as far as I can see from the latest reports. He's likely to be found at one of the double houses. So, was this the first day we're getting these quests? I think it is. So this is the first time we start getting the quests to find Bachelor and Haruspex, who in Changeling's playthrough at each other's throats basically the whole time. And you notice from the language used, particularly in Maria's letter, that there's a real difference in culture obviously going on, that she really thinks, she's framing the local people as repugnant and evil, and that's coming through really strongly. So the quest is to find the Bachelor in the Backbone district and to find Artemy in the Skinners. So these are side quests, and they're going to repeat on each successive day, I think. And I remember when I first did Changeling's playthrough, which was a scary amount of time ago, I thought these were some of the weaker, it definitely felt like padding to me. Though I did, in Pathologic 2, I do miss the letters. I think I've said that plenty of times before. But those letters are really great. They really add character to not just the characters, but they add this extra dimension to the world, again, through the use of language. I've been writing stuff for a game I want to make recently, and I've really been trying to think carefully about the kind of language that I am using and how I want each character to present themselves. There's something to be said for careful use of language in a video game. That seems to be the running theme for today so far, is considering the dimension of language. And at one point I wanted to learn learn to speak and read Russian, and I still do, so that I can get sort of even closer to this game as a text. Obviously that's something that I don't really have time for at the moment, what with the myriad of other projects going on. But a goal of mine is certainly to certainly to try and untangle Pathologic in that way. Got you on learning to read Cyrillic. It's not as hard as you'd think. Don't know the language though. Yeah, I think I did at some point, maybe during lockdown, or one of the lockdowns in New Zealand in 2020. I started learning some Cyrillic. Again, that fell through just because of how busy I ended up being with other commitments again. Still, even inside my own home, but that's all right. There's always there's more time to learn and do exciting fun things like that. I think a big benefit will be being able to read stuff like Pathologic, but also the works of a number of really important Russian poets. So I'm a big fan of. If anyone's ever read any Marina Tsvetaeva, I've always really liked her poems. She's sort of a Silver Age poet. She's really very good. Although I can't think of the name of one of her best poems. Her collection Milestones I did a bit of a study on. Future Cityscape, going back to Chinese for the same reason. There's a Chinese book I absolutely love, but I want to read in the original. Have a copy, just got to get the language down. Yeah. It's I think it should be a really rewarding experience, but I can't speak from experience to that. But it sounds like a really rewarding process. I think to get closer to a translated text and to understand why the translator made the decisions that they made as well is particularly interesting, particularly important. Language exchange apps get you to meet new people who want to help. That's a good idea as well. And yeah, going at my own pace is essential. I don't have much other than my own pace these days. Can Clara use the scalpel? I don't think it helps necessarily. It won't help against this character. I need a gun. What do I do with my gun? This is criminal. Where did I misplace my gun? So, let me see. So, Backbone District near the town hall. This one. Everything is easier if you find another person willing to help or learn with you. Absolutely. Can attest to that. Help from a variety of things. Okay, so one of the houses, maybe it's going to be this one. In my head I was thinking theatre for some reason. Get some money from this chump here. This chump. That's the... He's going to run in front of the guard. Probably the guard's going to steal my kill, as usually happens. One thing I do like is the guard's really fast attack animation. Like, Clara's just so slow, so deliberate, and the guard is just rapid punching the back of that guy's head. Got a real vendetta going on. But I've also been conceptualizing a horror game and really trying to plot out the kind of mood and texture I would want to achieve. And it's made me think a lot about coloring as well in games. And Pathologic, I think I've probably talked about this in the many hours I've streamed it before, right? But even just the subtle change in hues between district is really a really valuable visual signifier. You've got this area, it's a bit gloomy. It's clearly, autumn, leaves are falling. That's a good motif. We're heading into winter, things are changing. But it's also like there's a sense of normalcy here. But then when you step into an abandoned district, you get this sort of this yellowy hue over your screen, and that's just another really nice visual indicator. But even stuff like the pustules that grow on the side of the houses, or the texturing of the brickwork itself is really impressive. It really holds up. It gives the place a sense of sort of visual authenticity. Like these sorts of sort of cracked plaster or something, I think. Really important. We're sort of getting the signal that this town isn't very well kept, and it's sliding into ruin in a sense already before the plague even gets to it. We're getting these sort of elements of ruin bubbling to the surface, and that's to say nothing of the audio that's going on, right? You could hear the baby squealing, I think, before, and this music is of course great, and the sound of this rain, for whatever reason, it's the best rain in video games, if you ask me, in terms of noise. Very soothing. Okay, we're gonna go in here. I'm just gonna like sprint around the house and see if the Bachelor is in here. Hi. See, that's the thing I like about these robbers, is that they're so polite. They don't want to hop on the bed, get it dirty. But Clara is not above that kind of behavior. Six months since I played this route. 7 months since the last stream. Goodness me, what have I been doing? Don't remember a damn thing anymore. Neither do I. This is like a blind playthrough at this point, or at least picking up someone's playthrough in the middle of it. I have no idea what's happening, where I am, what I'm doing, but we're figuring it out as we go. I'll reorient myself probably when the next main quest comes to me, but I don't think that has yet. We're just looking for the Bachelor. Clara wonders why no one likes her when she acts so uncivilized. She tries, Whoa. Back we go. My favorite. Cool. If there's a third one in here, you would think they'd recognize that maybe there's something a little bit off about this bed. It's very possible there's another one up here. There often is. Some medicine. See, when I played The Bachelor on stream, I don't think I was busting into as many houses. And part of that, I think Clara's campaign encourages that, because the reputation meter is constantly falling. So you do have to stay on top of it by killing bandits and being proactive and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think in the Bachelor playthrough I was really breaking into all that many houses. It also probably helps that Clara is currently infected, so I actually am having to go and scavenge for stuff a bit more thoroughly. Was there any more hints? Just somewhere near the town hall. That's really unhelpful. But it is Maria writing, I guess, so I shouldn't be surprised that she probably just wants to get Clara killed, to be perfectly honest. So it could be in any like one of these houses. Because it could also be in there, but maybe we'll wander over this way. So it would be nice to actually finish the Changeling playthrough. I don't know if we're going to do that today. I could theoretically whiz through it. I got a bit of time. But I still kind of want to, we'll just play it as it comes. Is that? Hey, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Jeez, take one step into someone's house. Guess they were just worried about their bedding, I suppose. You know, can't put it past them. Day 12 stream will be in 24 months. Yeah, my plan is actually to finish what I start. I don't know if I've technically abandoned the playthrough yet, but I have like left them like languishing in the dungeon for a very long time. But I'm gonna go back through and try and finish some of the stuff I've left. This is the house, right? Because it's filled with all the Bachelor's thugs. Oh. What just happened? Oh. Hang on. Whoa. Bachelor? Little help? Bachelor? Bachelor, come on! You just... This is the most Bachelor response ever. And he is so tiny. But like, seriously, like, these guys are about to murder me, like, come on. Fine. I'll kill them all in front of you, see what I care. No? Did that engender any response out of you? You just saw me, like, kill someone without even touching them. Does that worry you at all? No? Not phased in the slightest. Neither of these guys, to be fair. I mean, they're having a great time. His glare. That is a piercing gaze. Just get rid of this guy, I guess. Yeah, this guy, it didn't deter him. He's like, now I'm one step closer to my goal. I mean, I don't think you can get much better than the pathfinding in Pathologic Classic HD. I mean, if you're looking for an example of how to get pathfinding done right, you've got it right here. Cool. Okay, prickly prick over there. You guys don't even have anything on you. What the hell was that, man?
My head is spinning.
You got a hangover. That's your excuse? Bloody hell.
Yes.
You're exactly who I'm looking for. The girl of notable peculiarity. If you were looking for me, then why didn't you save me? What is it in your eyes? Are those tears? Today must be a bad day for one of us. Right. I want to warn you. Go away from here, cold demon. Someone who wants to kill you will come here soon. Oh, don't bother. I can't read hearts like you do, but I can read the poignant hatred in your eyes all right. You would be very happy if someone were to kill me. The cold demon. Pah. Yep, that's because you didn't save my life. I wish she, whom I need, wouldn't value your life so much. I have special plans for her. Special. Go away, Bachelor. So that'll bump up our reputation, which I didn't think we needed actually, but that's alright. The other alternative is you tell him to stay here and then sick the Haruspecs on him, or vice versa, I think is the other option, which gets you, I think gives you a vaccine, but that does require you to find both. But we can try and find Haruspecs, maybe. I don't know, have we got a quest yet? No. Managed to find the Bachelor and deliver a timely warning. I hope the reward will be worth the trouble. So we can go through and see Maria now, I suppose, anyway. And say we saved the Bachelor's ungrateful life. When I was playing as the Bachelor, I never would have been so rude. That's the interesting thing about this this game. It always remains really one of the main points of fascination for me. just the fact you can pick a character and the other characters remain active in the world, that was revolutionary when I first played this game, and it still really is fiendishly clever. It's an idea that really needs to see more use, I think, and having the other characters act against you within the narrative is good as well. I feel like that's the one thing I find slightly lacking from what I've played of Termina, is that not enough of the characters are like actively scheming against you. But I guess that's another thing that makes it harder to be the dick and start killing them. Makes the decision more, have more moral weight to it, but it doesn't add any complexity, I guess. But there are still some characters, I suppose, who will try and kill you. But we got a letter. An instruction issued by the Inquisitor. You must watch the Changeling as carefully as you did yesterday. Let her blame herself if she fails to appear at my request. You know what you should do if she tries to play the same imaginary twin sister card. Alright. So we'll go to the Inquisitor and see what she wants. She obviously wants to blame us for something, even though I didn't do anything. Totally innocent. Totally not responsible for anything bad that's happened in town at all. Clara has no flaws, except her inability to do a stealth attack. Here we go. Alrighty. She can't wield a knife, can she? No. I could have sworn I got a gun, but maybe I just didn't. Maybe I left it somewhere, or I got confiscated at some point. Yeah. It's very hard to say. Could be anywhere. If this drunkard has bandages, that would be a huge help. Sorry, Angel of Death. Give all my water to you. You don't have any bandages. Absolutely hopeless. Okay. We just keep heading on. This is, very thoroughly infected. Whoa. Anyone who says Pathologic is a slow walking simulator obviously has not played it just by walking through these infected districts and realizing it's really a good test of your reflexes. If you're not, especially if you're not playing as the Bachelor with his wee viewfinder. Excuse me. Don't mind me. Alright, and of course, the other thing I like is that the Plague, of course, plays by game logic, in that we have the Plague respecting district boundaries. Which makes sense within the larger framing narrative of the game. Looks like Georgie is sick, and of course we've got this really nice, another sort of similarly revelatory moment to the Polyhedron. It's one of the initial ones. You realise that the town itself is a bull, is a living entity, and then you sort of start to from there. Join the dots and understand how the town can get sick in such a way, because you're actually imagining each part of the body sort of withering and dying individually, sort of the cells breaking up and all these kinds of things. I think it was pointed to as one of the best moments in the original game by that Butchering Pathologic series of articles on Rock Paper Shotgun by Quentin Smith, I think his name is. That was, I think, originally where a lot of people got into Pathologic. I happened to read the articles after when I got into it, I'd heard nothing about it. I knew nothing about this game. I saw it was $1 or something, and I bought it, and it paid off a million times over. Still my favorite game. But that's a really good series of articles. If you haven't read them, it's also quite refreshing to sort of look back. I think they were written in the 2000s, or maybe early 2010s at the latest, I think. And they're really good articles, just good articles. A nice look at the game when no one at the time was really talking about it. I think the only other review from the period that I can really remember was Eurogamer, who called it Oblivion with Cancer, which I'm not sure is like the most accurate review, but like I love it as a tagline.
Yes.
You've showed up. Well done. Today's mission is going to be dangerous, my dear. More dangerous than yesterday's one at any rate. What will you task me with today? You've mesmerized people before with quite some success. This really speaks in support of your being exceptional. Today, you're going to test your powers on a monster. You will meet Reuben, the foreman of the abattoir. Is he not human? An equal blend of human and beast. As I understood from esteemed Bruce Olgimski's account, his father had been begotten on a steppe woman by a bull. He is thus a chimera, a vivid epitome of this town. If the town were to get a coat of arms, the foreman should be on it. My God. Find out whether he is guilty. Also try to assess how much of a threat he is. A threat to what? To whom, rather? To the one who will have a lot of dealings with him. To sum up, I will need a psychological portrait of this being. Gain his trust and learn as much as you can. Aren't you afraid that I could deceive you? I'm not. I would learn a great deal more of what I need to know from your deceit than from your honesty, with a few added touches to your own portrait. By the way, let me tell you a little secret about yourself, the first key to unraveling your mystery. You are entirely incapable of deceit. Does that mean I'm a mistress? The only one around who could be described as a mistress is, at the present moment, me. How am I to get inside the abattoir? These passages open and close at random, as if controlled by some kind of paranormal sphincter. Looks like a hole, but no human can get through. The mental barrier is impassable, even to me. So what am I supposed to do? Find a girl at the cemetery who goes by the name of the Mother Superior, come up with something to make her let you pass. I suppose you'd handle a small child without any difficulty. However, I wouldn't advise you to try your spells on her. She's step-born, and a special kind of step-born. Not a good idea. I'll think of something. Okay, we'll get a reward from Maria, if she does indeed have a reward for us, and she's not sick. Can anyone off the top of their head... I feel like that's one of the only places in the game, in any route, that it comes up that, or someone alleges that Reuben is part bull, is himself a chimera or a chimera, or however you want to pronounce it. I might be wrong about that, but it doesn't feel like it comes up all that often, and it feels like it's a point of slander against him, or something. But I might be wrong about that.
Did you see anything weird on your way here?
It has been a while since I played original Haruspex as well, for instance. So it's possible he himself references that at some point in his introduction to him, and I just don't remember it clearly enough. I've warned the Bachelor. Tell me, was it you who provided him with such an entourage, who tried to kill me? Yes. What, did they attack you? Don't act surprised. Impossible. I warned them not to kill anyone but Earthkin, the butchers, and the worms enslaved by the wicked Haruspex. That had been a mistake, Maria. To them, I am Earthkin. So I got some money and some antibiotics, which is helpful, I guess. Probably more helpful than a vaccine at this point, given I am currently infected. Okay, so save it there. So we'll head over to the cemetery. And the safest route is probably this way. So, yeah, it's been far too long since I've played this game. And I've been trying to write some more character analysis stuff too, but that becomes, there's sort of a point with each character. I can start off pretty well, but I really do need the right critical lens to approach it with. You don't have the schmata. How dare you? I have so many of these. How many do you want? 7? Oh, actually, these are 3, right? So if I go 1, take both of those. Thank you. Yeah, I really need to find the right critical lens for each character. Otherwise, it does feel a bit fruitless. Like I'm just regurgitating information about the plot that any old, anyone could piece together by themselves if they just played the game, which isn't really something I'm interested in. I would like my videos to actually add something to people for the game rather than just, character is cruel. Oh, holy you finally, you are saving all this stuff for something. Save the game, definitely. I can cure myself at some point. Don't need to do that just yet though. If I don't find any more bandages, I might need to, and then spend some time resting. Like I'm a significant, the only character I've actually made. Did you get the item? Looked like it didn't transfer. I might have just done it quickly. It's there. It's all good. Almost gave me a heart attack. If that hadn't worked, I guess I just saved it. So I guess I could have traded with her again. I got more than enough stuff. Whew. Yeah, good to make sure. I would have been really annoyed if it turned out hours down the track. Oh, that didn't actually work. What is happening? Sometimes the game just decides to bless you, I guess. I think the Bachelor's playthrough was really lucky, but Changeling up until this point has been really unlucky with any of the drops of any kind, really. Other than lemons. She has a lot of lemons. But other than that, the game is so happy you're back. Yeah, don't leave again, don't leave. Thank you. Weird muscle memory. It's just I remember how much certain items are worth to certain people. Okay, and then from here, yeah, infected, abandoned, so it's best if we just try and skirt the water here again. Would be nice if Clara could swim, but I suppose not. Can't wait for Pathologic 2. Instead of Clara's alternate costume, she gets a swimming cap instead of a beanie, and she can swim between the different districts. Hello, do you have anything? Infected areas strictly off limits. Blah blah blah. I can't remember what little Tyre wants. It's the Haruspex route where she wants 50 alpha tablets, right? Or something. I remember there was a fiendish requirement. It is also very possible it is this route, and I've just forgotten about it. My favorite Molotov cocktail, guys. Did anyone else ever successfully complete that quest where you have to kill the hunchback as the Bachelor? That. It's just quest is just filled with about like 5 or 6 Molotov guys down the wee area down here, I think. So you're just constantly dodging Molotovs and running back around the corner, reloading, trying to desperately line up your shot. I did it once. I can't really. It's not even like the mission is narratively satisfying. I can't really recommend it in good conscience to anybody. And obviously it's just a side quest, so it's totally optional. If it had been part of the main quest, I'm sure there would have been a bit more discourse about it being horrible. Hello. Don't remember it, but I think I did all the quests, so maybe I blocked it. Yeah, it's not a very good one. There's probably an easier way to do it, but it just eluded me at the time, and since it was so annoying the first time, I never saw any need to attempt it again, which is why I didn't do it on stream either. Okay. The question is which part of the cemetery is unlocked. I can't remember if it's this way or the other way. Okay, so this one is unlocked for Clara at this stage. And, you know, I tend to prefer the atmosphere of Classic over Pathologic 2. But I feel like 2's cemetery for me, at least in terms of presentation, just sort of slightly edges out the cemetery in this one. I think it's just personal preference, even though I really do love this building. What I love about this building is that there's so many useless rooms, just with like a dead body or something in it, or almost nothing at all. But you really get the impression from this cemetery that this is a huge working block that can fit a lot of people in, but obviously the look of the place shows that there's not exactly many people left anymore, these giant corpses, and then of course you can't be sure whether this is meat hanging in these or just more corpses, to be honest. And the stairs keep going up, but I think they get blocked at a certain point, maybe, or maybe they don't. Can you go all the way to the top? And another thing is that the screams and stuff, that's baked into it is blocked. The screams and stuff is baked into the music, which is a comment I've received a couple of times on the video for it. Just people identifying that, it really wouldn't be the same without the wailing and the screaming. Adds to the feeling of suffocation. But I think why I prefer the second one is because it is like much narrower, less space to move around in, so you do get the sense of claustrophobia from the environment as well as from the audio.
My right eye is only half closed when I'm tilted. So the lady that came here decided to look into the abattoir. Nothing good will come out of this.
You come to this place often. I can't say I'm glad to see you. Why not? You bring us nothing but misfortune. You have to be patient, Mother, such is fate.
Feels like I'm peeping.
What's the news in the outer town? Tyre, let me into the abattoir. Let your butchers take me inside. If you will tell me a nice fairy tale, write this quest. I must warn you, though, I'm picky. Why so? I know all fairy tales. I've heard them all many times over. Boring. Since I've left the tower, only Sticky has managed to amuse me that one time. How did he make up a fairy tale? Who makes up fairy tales? What's wrong with you? Fairy tales are never made up. Made-up fairy tales are just fiction. You can spot them at once. Sticky's been the last to bring me a skilled storyteller. That was just before the plague. We were boarded up later that night. Let's see what we can come up with here. So, I think Sticky is infected, judging by the executor we saw outside his door just before. But we've got more than enough antibiotics to allow us access for now. But, like, another way that language is used, I mean, that dialogue there, I thought that was pretty authentically snooty child in supreme confidence of herself. I've already heard all the fairy tales. Boring. They're all boring now. Tell me something new. You do get the sort of authentic sense that there's a child speaking these lines, which isn't always. It's a child, saying these things, which isn't always easy to do. Children's lines can often come across as overly obnoxious or infantilizing, I guess. There's a lot of I played Siren Blood Curse, so that's the third game in the Forbidden Siren series. semi recently, about a month ago, and in that game there's a child character, and she just, it's not that there's anything wrong with how she's portrayed necessarily. It is a pretty freaky situation that she's in, but there's no like moment of intelligence or wit or any real evidence of her character outside of either the archives or gameplay. Like, you're sort of the only one imparting qualities onto her. Otherwise she's just kind of whiny and, you know, frightened all the time. That's her default mode. You never get a sense of her as a person, which is what I like about Pathologic, is that you get a sense of a person out of every character, but you get a sense of person from the children as well. They're not just sort of wee child stereotypes there to be coddled and looked after. And Pathologic 2 especially does a really good job with this, right? Everyone loves Murky and Sticky, and for good reason. They're really, really well written characters, and they don't just fall into child stereotype. They actually have their own wants and desires, and, you know, things that they like and things that they're good at, which is really important. But I think a lot of game writing in particular overlooks that. This person is sick. No, don't blame yourself. That's not your fault. One of your rival counterparts must have overlooked them or left them on purpose. Nevertheless, no entry. It's under quarantine. I keep a sorrowful watch. Can't they be helped? Even being one of the bound, they're just an ordinary person. They can be cured just like any other. You're the healer here. It's your area of expertise. Alright, I'll think of something. I have thought of something. I have monomycene. I can help them live to see tomorrow. They will see midnight. The diseased will peek out from the other world for a little while today. Put them to sleep at midnight again. Give me the medicine and come in. I'm going in. Looks perfectly fine.
Bachelor is looking for the source. Huh. That's some perseverance.
I've never believed them stories of you being the disease. Not for a moment, you know. Hey, Sticky, how about we outsmart the Mother Superior? Tired tight cheek. Not a lot of smart there to outsmart. She can lead herself up a garden path on her own just fine. How about we remind Khan who's in charge instead? Wait, does she like fairy tales? Tyre, I mean. She does. The catch is, she knows every single one. She was nursed by Odongs, and they're great storytellers. She's heard them all. Mother says you once brought an exceptional storyteller to her. Ah, I see. I didn't bring anybody, though. Never tracked the thing down, actually. That was my albino. People say it whispered fairy tales in her ear. She was all happy and saying, "Hey, this one's totally about me. What a good fairy tale." Lavished it with gifts, wanted more, but the next night their place got boarded up. Ah, and what sort of a fairy tale was it? Why do you need to know? You want a present too? She's got no time for those anymore. Better make up your own fairy tale. You can do it easily. If you're a creature of the steppe will whisper the words to you. Something to grab her attention. Oh, come on. Don't join that chorus. I can go back to the Mother Superior now. I hope I won't forget my fairy tale on the way. Fat lot of help he was. I think we just got to make one up on the spot. And as I recall, that can go wrong. So I am going to save, because I do want everyone to see everything in this playthrough, at least all the main quests. I don't want to leave a main quest undone. As well, for the sake of all my bound, I think would be best. You get a really good sense of scale too, which you get in both games. A real sense of the sublime, I think, really, watching the diseased sunlight come in through the clouds. Alright, back inside the cemetery we go. How is my infection looking? Mediocre. I'm getting more hungry than I am sick. So if we go back up this way, we're going to try and come up with a fairy tale. I don't know what my storytelling abilities are like off the cuff, tend to be the kind of person who prefers to write down a story before they tell it. But, you know, we can... I'm sure we'll come up with something. Just walk in there, be confident. Don't worry about the threat of being beaten to death, as we have been several times today already. Hello.
What?
I have a fairy tale for you. Well, I'm all ears. I'm going to do a sly thing. Tell you a fairy tale that's also a riddle. Would you be interested to know who's to blame for what happened to you? Really? Yes, very, very much. Listen carefully. My fairy tale will contain the answer. Will you be able to guess it? Oh, please, go ahead. I love this one. Once upon a time, Taya woke up in the middle of the night. And I like, it's all cut off already, like you can just tell she's not going to go anywhere with that one. So we've got the tale about the one-eyed, one-handed, one-legged knight's daughter cutting her cattle with the poor orphan and the pearl divers. Now, you know, there's a band name in there, but so we'll go. I've heard that one 1,000 times. Go away, your tales suck. Bah, here's another one there. Here's another one then. Go away. I'll call the butchers. Hey butchers, hush, hush, quiet, I'm leaving. So if that fails... Yeah, the fiery demon, Haruspex, sitting atop the abattoir getting ready to swallow it whole. So we just sort of concede the abattoir if we don't tell her a good story. Those pearl divers, am I right? Yeah.
My right eye is only half closed. Feels like I'm peeping.
Fairy tale for you. Yeah, I'm really curious. What does she say? You made that up. I don't want to listen. Why do you think so? Right, she just says, yeah, it's immediate. Just immediately shut that one down. Just because the same character has the same name as you, and coincidentally it's a fairy tale you've never heard before.
I see.
Alright. One-eyed, one-handed, one-legged knight's daughter counted her cattle. That's a scary one. I don't want it. It contains the answer, mother. Alright, go ahead. Say nothing. Awesome. And the rest? You'll hear the rest when I'm back from the abattoir. So it's in your best interest to also tell me how to fight the foreman. There's no use fighting him, but I'll give you a good advice. He's worried a lot on account of young Burak's arrival. Perhaps he'll let you go in one piece if you manage to capture his interest like you did with me. Go through the gates of labour. It's in between our buildings. Thank you, little Tyre. The monster is waiting inside the Minotaur. I guess he does lean into the Minotaur thing, doesn't he? Because when he fights, particularly when he fights Artemi, he dons his Minotaur head helmet. And he wears his Minotaur head helmet in the second one pretty prominently too, doesn't he? So, yeah, I suppose he does. I guess it just doesn't feel referenced in dialogue all that much. But it is a prominent visual motif of his character. It's just hard to find any connection to Reuben out of a lot of the characters. You don't get to meet him until very late. Bachelor doesn't get to meet him at all. He's an antagonist in Haruspex's run. And to be honest, I can't quite remember the substance of the conversation we're about to have, so it'll be interesting. I remember the riddle stuff. Remember that happening. And there's another riddle you have to get from Clara about, I think about the glass rose or something, which is the Polyhedron as the Haruspex. I think I'm remembering that correctly. One of the last days of the Haruspex. Got to get a fairy tale, I think, or something similar. Now, the abattoir in this game, I think, I was never that impressed by it. I think simply given the amount of time it took me to get here, because I played Bachelor first, And then you just sort of end up in this really plain area. But you know, I suppose, in a sense, that's the point. Love this walk only because it forces you to listen to the song. I was about to say the song is really great. I love the music in here. There's, I think if you just fall into this pit, you just die, right? That guy, that is an Odong who is in control of his life. He's doing good. Such good music though. And I do like this, you know, this walkway up here. I don't even know if it leads to anything. Again, that's something else I like about video game environments, is if they have environmental design that doesn't seem to serve any particular purpose within the gameplay. It's just there to add structure and dimension to the world. You're like, yeah, we can climb up here, but there's nothing up here. It doesn't lead to anything. You sort of have to imagine, yeah, what it was used for. You can probably imagine, I guess, people sitting up here and maybe watching something going on down there in the pit or something similar. I would like to know, or maybe someone's like throwing kindling from that point up the top into that fire. That's got to be something else. Like the floating. That's a good point, actually. It does evoke the whoa. It does evoke the floating staircases themselves, which is a point I hadn't considered. Because in a sense, we're getting a connection inside the abattoir, which is the most ancient building in town, to these very new buildings, these supposedly new artistic ideas by the Stomatans. So we're getting a real connection there. And the floating staircases fill the same niche out in the town as these sort of staircases to nowhere. He's really thriving. Yeah, that's an excellent point. I really think there could have been something done with, just something a little extra done with maybe the pathfinding in here. Everyone here is thriving. They got the time to spare. Like, they're having a great time. Look at them go. This is life lived to its fullest. These are the secrets that the Bachelor was not privy to. You just know he would have misused this information. The power of walking into walls forever. So here we got Oyen. This is a pretty cool environment to have a discussion in. It's a really nice area. Don't know when in development the abattoir was made. Definitely feels like they ran out of time. Definitely. Maybe the walkways were made after the staircases. Maybe. It depends. This is, all just conjecture. Not like the Stomatans would have been allowed inside, and I doubt the Olgimskis would have cared to replicate outside influence inside the abattoir of all places. So it is possible it's just just a coincidence, just a little visual motif that connects the two. There doesn't have to be any deliberate thread for me to find it narratively compelling. Hello. I love the way the camera pans all the way up because we're so short. Are you the emanation of Mother Bodho, whom I serve faithfully? The dark-faced, the 100-mouthed, slowly turning her purblind eyeballs in their sockets. I am the foreman of the abattoir. I come from the Oyen clan. I'm a Menku who knows the lines. Who are you? I'm a miracle worker. Through my hands, the holy powers bestow goodness and mercy on the people. No, I think I'll tell him what he wants to hear. You'll have to bow down to me. What do you want, Earth? Will you agree to answer my questions candidly and without prejudice? No. I'll tell you things about Barak that you didn't know. What can you tell me? How your standoff is going to end, what the mission that he's unable to accomplish is. Good. I want to make certain that he is who he claims to be. Perhaps there's no reason to take it slow at all. How? Get to know what Saba Otun thinks of him. I'd forgotten this facial expression that he pulls. Just inexplicable, and also he doesn't seem to have pupils when he's doing it. Pretty interesting fella. The one that the worms call Aspity. The heart of the matter is simple. Find out if he had killed her to deceive his way into the true heir's inheritance. You will come back here through the gates of labour. You will not be impeded. Alright. So we're going to go see Aspity now. Everybody's favourite character. Don't know why, but his expression always made me think he was blind. Yeah, but there's no like other indication of that anywhere else, right? But I think, yeah, like you're onto something in how he's presented. Now that you say that, but it's not like it's mentioned anywhere. It certainly doesn't impede him in the fight. He knows where you are at all times. Am I allowed to exit the quick way? Probably just tech limitations always gave that impression. That's another, you know... It's interesting, isn't it, when the technology itself of the game becomes a part of the text or the narrative in our own heads. That without the technology it wouldn't be the same experience. Which I think is why people are returning to lower poly stuff and you know, textures that aren't quite as high res or anything, because they do provide a certain grungy, used feeling, I think, for a variety of reasons. There's like ontological reasons for that, but there's also just the plain, like, this looks kind of gross because it's all crunched and, you know, muddy texture. But the hauntological reason is, you know, we're connected to older texts through the use of these older graphical styles, and therefore we expect that this game is as haunted as those ones are, and so on. Really just a feedback loop. That wasn't fair, that wasn't fair. I call foul on that one. Hello. Do they have anything in... No.
No.
I'm fine, thanks
The
for
kin
asking.
won't say anything to Bachelor. They have no respect for outsiders.
Have you seen Animal Well? Yeah, it's on my wish list. I do wanna play it. Very pixel art style, but very dark imagery. Yeah, I was thinking of getting it. I just need to find a slot of time to play it in. But it does look and sound really cool. Yeah, you and I are two of a kind. Fine, you win. I'm not going to bite anymore. Tell me about Burak, Aspity. What is there to tell you about him? Did he take the inheritance from you by force? Nonsense. Ah, there's that smile. Why would he take by force what's rightfully his own? Who is he? He is a warden. He is of Menku stock. His father was a surgeon. I revere him. Soon he will overthrow the usurper, become leader of the kin, and inaugurate a new era. Then I shall go back and vanish into the earth. You sprang from the earth, then? Yes, same as you. And to what end? I don't know, but I sense that it's to carry out the will of the law, to destroy the accursed utopia, a place that is not, and must never be. Utopia? There are 3 nodes nourishing our town. The town had been growing until the nodes closed. The earth begat beasts, the beasts sustained humans, the humans begat a settlement, the settlement sustains the children. The head had been drawing juices in excess. The plague closed the nodes. Everything resumed its natural course. And what does that mean? The settlement is a burden on the earth. The utopia is destroying the settlement. The plague will destroy the utopia. The sand pest is a creature of the plague, the will of the law. I used to think it was my destiny. Now I see that it's yours. What's a utopia? The utopia So you note how she, not just a utopia, it's the utopia. The utopia is a whim, a desire for the impossible. Children don't know the value of presence. They don't know that happiness is ephemeral. They want it to be full and never-ending. Before, life itself used to curb such things. The mirror trap had shut out the laws of life. It had left them outside, and so the plague had to intervene. But the suffering is dealt out to everyone. Why not just smite the tower? The town and the tower are no longer separable. The town sustains it, feeds it with its children. The town exists for the tower's sake. Just listen to them. And they're all obsessing over some new construction project. That's what they believe to be their mission, led on by their blind rulers. That's the dream that gives meaning to their futile existence. You are evil. Okay, so we can return to the worried foreman, and in doing so make him worry even more. Barak is destined to confront him, and it's an easy guess as to who's going to come out on top. The foreman is strong, but would he be able to pull off this feat? I doubt it. I am the only miracle maker here. Bot has a lot to say about Utopia, I see. Yeah. No, there's some interesting discussion going on there. But that's a really, I think, a really cornerstone conversation that I had forgotten it was Aspity who delivered that conversation, actually. But it's a really, really good conversation. It kind of, I feel like if you were lost on what the theme of the game was, or what the meaning behind it all was, it sort of sums it up in a way. Spells it out pretty clearly, at least to my mind. Though anything in the bin. Bandage. Running pretty low on health here. Boost my immunity a little bit. Oh, come on. Leave me alone for just 5 seconds. So we had to wander back through this way because there's an invisible force field in the abattoir that prevents us from entering the other way. It appears to be exit only. So go back through the other entrance. Need to have something to eat. Got so many lemons. How did I end up with so many lemons? So we'll do this, and then I think we got to report back to the Inquisitor. And then I think I'm probably just gonna try and, what's the time? 6, yeah. I'll just spend the rest of day 8 recouping my health, probably. Or attempting to, anyway. Alright, Oyen, I'm coming. I do like this, you know, this initial walkthrough, and then you've got this wee look in here, and I feel like if the view was, you know, had something really grand to it through there, I think it would be a nice build up. You know, you're walking down this long corridor and watching the worms run around, you do get the impression that something is happening in here, that there is work going on, but you never see any of that work actually being done. Just a bunch of sad looking cows. You know, really important discourse around AI around here, obviously. Just wander back through this room. Glad to see that Odon got himself unstuck. I don't even know how he got himself in there. I just assume the game just spawned him in there for whatever reason. Oh, circle through. It is really a long walk. Worth it for the music, though, isn't it? Utopia is flexible and convenient. Everything is in your hands. Deep. Yeah, really spoke to me. I sense neither warmth nor blood in you. I've seen Aspity. Is she alive? Yes, she's alive. What did she say? She esteems Burak. She says yes. He is indeed who he claims to be. I will answer then. A single question of yours. That gleam in your eye is unneeded, I will not lie. Conserve your strength. What did you want to know? Are you guilty of starting this plague? Yes, it was me. I had failed to perform the rite. I knew beforehand that the lines of Bos Primigenius were outside my grasp. I have lied and am now doomed to die. I am not a worthy warden. Because you've lied? Not just that. I am no more of a priest than Katerina is a mistress. It all started because of us. The thirst for power brings down the worthless and elevates the great. I only hold this position as a result of my colluding with Olgimsky. Katerina owes hers to an absurd coincidence. That is all. So now we can head back. We didn't talk that much, but everything that needed discussion was discussed. I can go back to Aglaya and inform her of my decision. So that's the other part of Changeling's storyline, is that we've been judging all these characters, and I don't think we haven't done that in about 7 months, but getting back onto that now. I was gonna say I hadn't seen anyone walking into the wall, but this guy's just insistent. There's got to be a faster way, right? You can't, to see Oyen, you can't have to walk through that tunnel the whole way. There's got to be a faster way, and it's got to be through the solid rock. Truly remarkable. Really do love this game. Excuse me. Man's just getting his steps in. Oh yeah, sorry. Don't mean to judge anyone, it's, getting fit. Now, I think this guy's in trouble, because he doesn't want to be in the rock. But he's in the rock. There's something, something wrong there. I like to imagine that guy's running to help him. Alright, time for another walk around town. There's nothing in this room, is there? This is just like another wee side room. Yeah. I don't think it has any practical purpose at all. Which again, I like. If we come through this way... So, yeah, head all the way back over town. Try... I'm not sure whether I want to cure the infection or not. Just depends if I have enough health to do so, I think. Where's the nearest... I feel like the nearest medical places... The nearest medical place is that one. Are all the medical shops? And no, this one's... I could see if they got a bandage kit there, because that might be what I need to survive the Schmauder, and then I can just use painkillers and sleep to restore the rest of my health. I'm just not sure whether I want to waste or use. It wouldn't be a waste, but I'm not sure whether I want to use the Schmauder just yet. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I do after a walk, I suppose. Get my steps in. This route is theoretically clear of infection, so let's go for a wander. And I really do, I think this track in particular, the step ones, they're the ones I come back to the most, I think. I use them a lot while I'm writing, doing work. They half the views on those videos of me. Yeah, Step Night extended one, I did that one for myself. It really is a meditative game. To a degree. And then you get into the infected districts and you are doing that reflex movement stuff that I was talking about before. Turns into a Just a twitch shooter. As soon as you step into a looter's house. The district isn't infected, but yeah, I'll go through this district, but I'm gonna go through the river, so I don't have to go through that infected one. Don't really want to contend with that right now. Yeah, just the aesthetic of the game. It's just, yeah, it was immediately really arresting when I first played it. Just walking through town for the first time. Even when all the people were like out and about. I just remember this real feeling of immersion, but also this desolate feeling as well. Just the aesthetics of the game, the draw distance, everything works really perfectly. All sort of fuses together into this perfect storm of elements, right? Do you have bandages? Yes, you do. Thank goodness. Cool. So I'll avoid that guy. That is truly, it's an iconic noise. The sound of the Molotov guys roaring. I guess it's roaring. As they throw a Molotov straight into a guard's face, and he doesn't even stop punching for even a second. And they make him pretty tough out here, apparently. But it's just, yeah, like imagery like this, combined with ambience like this. Oh, we're getting a wee bit of, I think, it's really hard to hear, but we're getting a wee bit of Barak's father's whispering in there across the steppe. And I do feel like it does, even though it's all digital, obviously, all artifice, it still gives you the same emotions that you would get walking through sort of distant, isolated grasslands. I know it sort of simulates the feeling I've had from doing the same. Just being totally alone with yourself and with nature. The fact that a game can replicate that feeling is really special. Taken the very long way. They don't make NPCs like they used to. No, they don't. They made them tougher back in Pathologic Classic. But yeah, I think there's, like something to be said, and some things I still want to say and research regarding how games can recreate the circumstance of emotions that we experience in the actual world, as opposed, what am I trying to say? As opposed to like merely sort of creating like an adjacent feeling. You get the same feeling sometimes, and I think that's the emotion that I'm really interested in, is when a game can actually hone in and say, look, here's a grassland, empty grassland, nothing on the horizon, which wasn't quite my experience, but this is one of my favorite things to do in any game, is walking through the steppe in Pathologic. It really is just transcendent stuff. Like, apart from the exhaustion and infection meter up there, totally peaceful. But I played this game enough now that it's like, hey, whatever. She's a little tired. She's a little sick. What's the harm? We've done the big circuit. I don't normally do this bigger circuit, but it is nice. There's a lot of like important affect theorists and affect theories. A lot of it is sort of coming at it from an aestheticist approach. We were looking at the visuals and identifying. Well, can I go around this way? No. The opening is on the other side of this fence. Right, that's why I don't normally go around that way. But an aestheticist approach, so we're looking at the visuals and just the general like atmosphere and ambience of a place, and determining how it makes us feel, why it makes us feel that way, just from the physicality of it all. And that's what I'm currently doing some research into, is the materiality of the virtual. So trying to engage with ideas of making something that's thought that was a Molotov guy, but apparently not. Making something that is virtual, that we recognize as artificial, and still having it create things that generate like genuine human emotion. As you say, yeah, blue voices here. Textures that are made from pictures make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. There is something about that, and how we can imagine tracing our hand down this wall. And you can imagine, right? Like, you can imagine the feeling of touching this wall with your hand and running your hand down it. And not every game can achieve that. Yeah, it shows how much the developer really cared about the look. You get the sense of a coherent world from it, which is something in the game that I'm developing. Like, I actually want to develop that feel as well. So I want everything to be considered in that way. And even if the texture work turns out crap because I'm not a good artist, I still want to have tried to achieve that. And I think that's really important thing to do in games, is to construct a world that's worth inhabiting, that feels tangible in whatever sense. As you identify your future cityscape, you like worlds and areas in games that feel like they move with or without you. Towns that move solely on your own actions are always so boring. And they really are. I mean, there's nothing to recommend a game like that, really. That's the other thing I'm researching at the moment is temporality, because time is really crucial to how we experience games. And there are a lot of really sort of structuralist, very formal ways to codify and define time. But I think even just thinking of it loosely, just at the moment, having a world that moves on without you, having a ticking clock, these are things that add to the feeling of tension, and the knowledge that if you're not actively playing, then you are technically missing out, or you could be missing out on something. Having the world rotate around you means that it's not really a world at all. It's something else. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's not. It doesn't fulfill the same purpose that inhabiting Pathologic, for instance, does. I mean, you're inhabiting a place here, but in other games where the world does revolve around you, it does sort of just feel like you're inhabiting wish fulfillment or something. I'd have to come up with a better term for that probably. But there is something much less satisfying about not having to learn about a culture that you're playing in, about not having to think about how other people will think of you. Exactly. How NPCs react walking around. People either don't look at you or look at you with suspicion. They don't all turn to you, and applaud as you go by, or Skyrim or a JRPG, everyone's kind and generic. All the guards seem to know your face and your name, and in Oblivion, it's you, the hero of Kvatch. Every guard, every person. There's no sense of something changing, no dynamism to the world, and I feel like that's, that can be really frustrating, I think, when you realize that the game just isn't catering to its characters, it's just catering to its player. That it's not really that much fun for me. Alright, Aglaya, I don't know how much of that you heard, but yes, I was pacing back and forwards outside of the cathedral doors, ranting, so you have to forgive me.
Why are they playing me up?
Love walking in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, because so many NPCs just walk around you or ignore you. Makes you feel like one in the sea of people. Yeah, that's another great example. That's a great game as well. I'm very tempted to play that on stream too. I've seen the foreman. Seen him and lived. Let me take a look at you. Widen that pupil. Look into the light. What did you talk about? About Burak? About Burak. Good girl. Stick your tongue out and say "arr, arr." So what did he tell you about Burak? I can't get it to work anymore. I have Windows 11. It doesn't work on Windows 11? Not even with the patch? What did he tell you about Burak? He's afraid of him. That means he's not as dangerous as I thought. Thank you, you did well. Not at all. Dismissed. Come and see me first thing tomorrow morning. We'll see. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Cool, so that's that done. Virtual machine time is also a valid way to approach the problem. I think Maria has a spare bed. I'm just going to try and recover in Maria's house if she lets me. Otherwise I'll go back to Lara's. Yeah, I can go to sleep here. Provided she doesn't stab me to death in the middle of the night with all these various blades. So, how much health does this give me? Not enough. If I take one of these, then more morphine, then sleep for say 3 hours. Okay, so we're on day 9 now.
The day is over. Your timely efforts allowed your supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theater.
Right. So now I've got like a decent amount of health. What's the map? What's the map look like? Okay, and then this, I'm gonna save it again. Drugs, Schmata, barely survive, and then if I go back to sleep for like another 4 hours. Cool, and then if I eat some more meat and drink some milk for my breakfast, we should be able, hopefully. Oh, cool. Guess who's arrived? 25 lemons and 1 pint of milk for breakfast. Don't know about you, but that's how I start my day. Coming towards the end game here now with the arrival of the army. And the army is obviously supremely competent. so let's go to the theatre first. Although, I'm going to see, actually, before we go to the theatre, since I'm here, I'm going to see if Aglaya did mean what she said when she said first thing tomorrow morning. Sure, 4:47 is an appropriate time to show up and ask for a quest. It works in all the other RPGs, right? And the army is already here. Shooting people, because that's what they do best. Good morning.
So this is what Block has in mind. Is he noble enough to disregard his personal feelings?
What happened to your legs, my dear? How terrible. Where did you get such frightful stains? Wait, sorry. It's just something I thought I saw. It's hard to see properly in this half light. Of course you just thought you saw them. What could possibly happen to me? Here's the plan for today. You will go to the Canes and find out why this perverted Polyhedron is so precious to them. Same pretext. Say I'm accusing them of starting the epidemic. The "it's a work of art" evasion is no longer an acceptable answer. Why would it be unacceptable? How is it not a work of art? If I had a tower like that, it would be precious to me too. The Bachelor is already working on this theory. What I need is mysticism. He doesn't understand it. You will. Even if you don't, you'll still be able to passably communicate it to me. Any more questions? How many questions can I ask now? A single one. Who am I? I haven't understood it yet, my dear. Perhaps you will bring me the answer today, on the soles of your shoes. Have you ever seen them? They're most curious. Every time you walk away, I look at your feet. A very interesting view. Don't make fun of me. Is this the final test? The last but one. Although, we'll see in the evening. And what if I refuse? And someone else will do it instead, which I doubt you'll benefit from. As you may realize, you're not the center of the universe. Hey, yeah, that is what we were just talking about. What was that, an attempt at auto-suggestion? I should rather think you're quite convinced of the contrary. Okay, so which cane? My path leads me to the opposite side of town. It's clear who's the master of this domain. Were you to ask me yesterday, I wouldn't hesitate a moment to condemn them all, but now I'm no longer convinced. Elder Georgie will open the passage into the Polyhedron for me, so we might as well do this while we're here, right? This person is sick. Can't they be helped? Think of something. Look at that. I thought of something. Have some monomycene. I'm a genius. Georgie, it's your favorite person.
In growing old, we become more foolish and more wise.
There is no salvation for us. Georgie Kane have come to you upon orders from Inquisitor Aglaya Lilich. So what is it? Or did you hope to intimidate me by saying the name of my daughter-in-law? Would your attitude change if I told you that my visit will determine the fate of the Polyhedron? Do you believe your visit is that significant? Now it's you who will answer my questions candidly and without prejudice. Are you one of Aglaya's confederates? No, I am her victim. Yes? I doubt it. Believe it or not, but the timing of your visit is impeccable, for while we've been trying to salvage what little has been left to us by our dearest brother, we've come close to solving the mystery of Simon's transformation. Would you be willing to do us a very important favour? Will you answer my questions if I do? Yes, and we'll let you inside the tower. That's what you've come for, isn't it? Always more favours. What do you want from me? We'd like you to go to the termitary and find Dr. Reuben, who is hiding from our wrath there. Tell him he's been forgiven. Let him come here. Together perhaps you can find out what happened to Simon's blood. What happened to it? I don't understand. The Bachelor said that he and the Haruspecs have been trying to solve the riddle posed by the mysterious blood that appears to be strangely identical to Simon's. The answer to the riddle is hiding inside the termitary, risking his life every minute. If you go there, we will provide you with medicine, weapons, and protective clothing. What do I have to do with this? That's what I want to find out. I'll go. So we got bullets, but no gun. But we did get a repellent cape, so we'll put that on. Still no gun though. Okay, so back to the termitary. On the way, we'll watch the theatre performance. See how we do. there's really still a lot to recommend about this game. Still functions very, very well. From a narrative perspective, obviously remains fascinating. Gameplay perspective remains innovative. Yeah. If there's no girl boss gun, how will we girl boss the plague away? I don't know, that's what I've been wondering this whole time. It's getting pretty fraught. That's why the plague has spread so far. Misplaced the girl boss gun and everything has gone wrong. It's a tragedy. There's a robber. Hang on, Mr. Robber, I'm coming. Genius. You good at your job. Here we go.
Do you see now how many mysteries the Earth holds? The more terrifying the mystery, the deeper it lies, and the fewer wells can reach them.
The bowels of the abattoir were turned inside out. There are beasts there.
It's filled with roots and dirt. The underground doors opens easily, but you can only go through if there's a grave behind it. Hopefully you catch my drift?
There's nothing to lose anyway. The soldiers will be here tomorrow. Let's risk it.
You're free to go anywhere. To the right, to the left, upwards, and even downwards a bit. You're welcome to make sure there are no tricks.
Who cares? It's all the same in the end.
I can move upwards and even downwards a little bit. I feel privileged. A lot of dead cows. Right. Up through the termitery we go. Yeah, so just trying to think. After I finish this game, this route, at some point obviously I'd still like to do Haruspex' route and play Pathologic 2. I need to find a time to stream again that's more regular, so I haven't really been able to stream properly regularly for a good while now. Hoping to find even just a 1.5, 90-minute, 2-hour slot one day a week would be really nice, just to make continual progress on stuff, because it does feel like I've got a few playthroughs that are technically like undergoing, that are underway, but I just haven't made any headway. So yeah, I've got those in mind, but currently I've got this Forbidden Siren 2, there's Fear and Hunger 2, still have to finish Yakuza, which I think I must have started about a year ago. It probably is a year ago now. which is disturbing. So anything else that I've started? I technically haven't got 100%. What are you doing? Don't shoot. Whoa. Okay. Just waiting for him to shoot me in the back of the head. April 18th of last year. Goodness me. That's, yeah. That's something, alright. Yeah, you can tell, like, I just have had no time between everything I've wanted to fit in, work and study and all of this takes its toll, obviously, on free time to stream. I'd still really like to stream, so the goal, let it be known that the goal is to find even just, you know, stream 2 hours a week routinely. I think would be really nice, and allow some structure, allow some progress, so I can finish all of those games, hopefully just one after the other. It would be nice as well to actually get like a big marathon stream. Maybe I should try something around Halloween. Maybe do a big marathon stream or something. Not sure what that would be, but something similar to the marathon, the single sitting playthrough I did of Silent Hill 3 last year. I think that remains one of my favourite playthroughs that I've done, so I would like to do something like that again. Oh, 10-star runs on Silent Hill 4 as well. I did actually want to keep doing that, but there's no sense in me trying to do that if I don't have a routine time slot I can dedicate to it. That's long enough to actually practice and train for that kind of thing. I'm so tempted to buy another lemon, but I won't. Yeah, there's a lot to do. Yeah, a lot to think about, a lot to play, a lot of videos to make. I would like to. So the current video I'm making as well as Forbidden Siren 2, but then I was thinking as well, I might as well make those videos a trilogy and round out the series by doing even just a shorter one on Blood Curse, because in spite of how lesser it is compared to the other games in the series, it's still worth talking about, even just in a comparative sense. There are things that it does that are less interesting, but also like some moments of genuine innovation, whatever that innovation looks like. You know, generally for the worse, but there are some interesting things to say about that game, I think. So I might as well try and make that a trilogy. And then I've got a short video that really is... where is Reuben? Is he in the other wing of the cemetery? I thought he was either in one of those rooms. I'll check the other wing. So I've got Forbidden Siren, Blood Curse, this other shorter video. I've released Silent Hill 4. This is the Bachelor. Hello. And then I'll have to have a think about the other videos I wanted to make this year.
Truth does not do as much good in the world as the appearance of truth does evil.
Have you know, I've been thinking about you a lot. Have you? Have you been thinking about that time when I was standing on the table about to die and you just stood there and you didn't even watch, really? You just stared impassively at the wall. Do you know where Reuben is? Reuben is away. He's coming back tomorrow. And now here's a riddle for you, Clara. Go on. On day 5, Reuben said that Simon's unique, most singular blood had all been spent, to the last drop, gone into the vaccine. Then yesterday, the Haruspecs made a serum out of blood that was structurally similar to Simon's, even surpassing it. And whose blood was it? Only he knows that, but that's not the mystery. On days 6 and 7, the Haruspecs brought me blood that was similar to Simon's. Where was he getting it from? Where? That's just what I wanted to ask you about. I've tracked down some of the commoners you had cured. Their cells were mutated, but they hadn't become immune. This is thrilling news. I don't know what to say.
I talked to the command.
There was no need. Just gonna check up the top here, because the Bachelor could very easily have been lying to me. And for some reason characters in this game really love the top bit of this incredibly long staircase. I do also wonder if the cemetery was ever meant to be, like this wing was ever meant to be more explorable as well. Haruspecs is up here. This is awkward.
I can barely walk. Enough for today, eh?
Enough for today, eh? Past being surprised to see you again at this point. Tell me, Barak, where did Reuben get blood that was similar to Simon's? Do you know who the bound are? Yes, I do. Have you by any chance touched a bound person with your hand lately? Can then condemn them to death or converted them to your wild religion? Those are all touches too. Think about it carefully. Even if I didn't touch them myself, I know who might have done it for me. It's highly likely. Well, their blood was similar to Simon's. Asperty and Yulia, no doubt about those two. Some others too. Let me think. Look at that wee smile. Also evil. Why is that? How is Yulia evil? Oh, she is. She is level-headed and clever, which is why she doesn't look it. When in fact she was the one who masterminded all that the Sabarovs have recently put into practice. She's the ideologist of humility. She came up with a scientific justification of necessary death. But what's special about her blood? You see, Simon's blood bore a weak resemblance to a different blood, as though Simon was the worst in a line of the amazing beings I'm talking about. Yes, his blood could help, were it not so battle-worn. He was, after all, an old man. That's what I think. But what does Reuben have to do with it? Have you seen the Bachelor? Yes, he's downstairs. We expected him to come here, but we probably missed each other. He's the one that talked to Reuben. I haven't seen him for 5 days. Wasn't sure he was even alive. Georgie wanted to off him. Georgie has pardoned him. I can go back to the Crucible now. Okay. I mean... what is he doing up there? Was he like waiting there for someone else, and then he heard the Bachelor coming in, and he ran up all of these stairs, and he's just waiting for the Bachelor to leave? Because they want to kill each other in Changeling storyline. I mean, day 9, in which the Changeling finds out that in her case, a thief and a miracle worker are not necessarily the same thing. Bachelor, please don't interrupt me when I'm trying to read the title card.
Should I just give up?
There was no need. Yep, okay, they're just gonna be at an awkward impasse all day, I guess. Bachelor blocking the stairs. As you do. Time to walk all the way back across town. Reuben's not here. You get to go into the Polyhedron anyway, which is always exciting. Oh, that's the other one I haven't. I don't think I completed 100% Crash Bandicoot. I completed the game, but I didn't 100% it yet. I don't think I got all the gems yet in my streamed playthrough of it. That's something else I could return to at some stage. And there's a short list. I haven't updated that list in a while, but there's a short list on my Twitch about page at the moment, which has a few games that I want to play on it on stream. And I've been slowly working my way through puppet combo stuff here and there. Played Rewind or Die, which was an interesting experience. Is that word again? It was not very scary in the slightest. Hello, rat. Oh. Okay, trucking along. I'm hoping I can reach day 10. It would be lovely if I could even reach day 11, to be honest. I don't know if that'll happen, but at least if we get through day 10, that would be great. Because then I'll be able to... we'll have this great big volume here. Whoa! And then we'll be able to polish off Clara's storage in just one more stream, I imagine. That's the goal. See if we get there. Is there anywhere else I need to go? Not just yet. There's no letter today about trying to find Bachelor and Harrispex, I guess because they're part of the main quest on today, and they're both in the same building, so I guess it's fine. Yeah, I guess the other objective video essay was, I would like to make one on Fear and Hunger 2, but I am aware that there's still content being made for it. I mean, if that releases this year and I'm able to get through it quickly enough to actually have something to say about it, I could probably provide more holistic analysis that way. I think he must be nearing completion of whatever the next update is. But the other thing I do need to do is just another character analysis video. And in spite of what I said before, there are a couple of characters who I actually have found the right critical approach to. So they're coming along when I find a relevant reading or have the time to dedicate to write something when inspiration strikes. Hello, Georgie. I'm back. It's your favourite person again. Okay.
The Inquisitor is ignoring the commander. That's a good sign. But Bachelor is at one with her. She's outplayed him. Will he trust us now?
It's the running gag, yeah. Hi, Clara. Georgie is your favourite person. Found out curious things about myself. What kind of things are they? Do tell. If you tell me something first, why is that tower so precious to you? We need the Polyhedron to become flesh for Simon's spirit, but a harrowing decision like this will come at a terrible price. We'll have to say a final farewell to Nina, whose spirit resides there at the moment. That's impossible. The Polyhedron can work miracles. It exists in defiance of all laws, imaginable and otherwise. It's a miracle made real, the pinnacle of our legacy, the utopia in the flesh. If it's destroyed, it will be lost for good. Nothing like it will ever be known to history. Why? It is capable of capturing a miracle. It captures the soul. It captures childhood. It feels like a world of eternal bliss to children who dwell within it. That's why they've set up their own republic there. And now it's your turn to speak. What was that blood the Bachelor was talking about? As far as I could understand him, Simon's blood had been shed because of me. Is that what you think too? If you and Reuben find the origin of the blood that holds a likeness to that of Simon's, then perhaps we may avoid having to banish Nina. It isn't Simon himself that we need, but the power of creation he wields. We live for its sake. Simon is not the Polyhedron's purpose. Rather, Simon's purpose was to allow such Polyhedrons to spring up in this world. I'd like to convince myself personally. I'm afraid Nina will show you nothing, since you're no longer a child. All you may possibly see there are cold walls and empty flights of stairs. You promised. Victor will open the path into the Polyhedron for you. Only he knows how to earn the good favours of his beloved wife. He was the only one she'd ever listened to. Oh my, that's a lot to reflect on. So Victor Kane. Go see Victor. I don't think he's sick. I think it's just Georgie. I have to give up another thing of antibiotics for him. So go in here and then shoot into the Polyhedron, I think. The other thing from a gameplay perspective, for anyone who is watching this who hasn't played the game for whatever reason, you can no longer barter with the soldiers. So all that bartering I was doing yesterday, that's another sort of potential avenue of resources that's been used up. Which is another way the game sort of tightens its stranglehold on you.
Yes?
Hope this torture ends soon. Victor, I'm going to the Polyhedron with Georgie's permission. Yes, I know, but I am afraid you're not going to see anything there. I doubt that Nina will be favourably disposed towards you. We'll see. How can I get past the barrier? It's simple. Go all the way to the top. You'll see my son there. If he's not there, wait for him or tell one of the dogheads to call for him. When he receives you, you should immediately, without answering any questions, without a greeting or an apology, say the following words. Fane's Eye. Thank you. Fane's Eye. Appreciate it, Victor. Seems to be general consensus the most approachable of the Kanes as a character. People find him the least confronting, perhaps, or the least creepy. But he is definitely still a Kane. Still likes his miracles. But I do love the, just the idea of the Polyhedron is really a masterstroke. And the way that they actually got it to fit into the game as well. Also a real masterstroke. Everything, thematically everything connects together in such a great way. It sort of spoiled me really in regards to game narrative and theming. I played this and I look back on so many other games, not all of them, but so many games, and I sort of thought, well, how does the gameplay line up with the story? And then from there, I just got swept away. I figure, I could really do with thinking about games more critically, and then, well, here we are. Okay, drop into the portal. Fane's Eye.
Our Polyhedron trembled when this monster...
No greeting, but okay, we have to do the greeting. I haven't seen you here before. I've never been here before. Why? I can't tell. I have to be cautious.
My seams are running.
So, it's all about trickery to you. Wherever have you come from? Might sound familiar? Fane's Eye. Now that's a surprise. Look at the way he screws up his face. Well then, come in. Do you wish to join us? Now of all times, when they just rolled in that cannon? The mere sight of it would be enough to tear down 5 towns like ours. You astonish me. I do. I wish to become one of you. Good. An honest and straightforward answer. Well then, prepare for quite an ordeal. Wait. First I'd like to know what this tower is. This tower? It's a toy that makes any adventure pale in comparison. It's a treasure. It gives the gift of dreams. Here, the most fragile fantasy can be played with forever. Here, you can share your dreams with others and play in them together. But a dream can be retold if it's worth it. Yeah, or drawn, or... I mean, that's just silly. Don't you know that the most precious aspects of dreams, the things that make you want to keep on dreaming forever and never wake up again, vanish moments after you wake up? A dream can't be recorded or retold. The magic is gone then. He's onto something there. Are you saying this tower can preserve dreams? Not just preserve them, bring them back, continue them, share them with others. Not just the characters and the worlds, but the very fragrances of the ether, the most magical of dream experiences, the most precious of fantasized events. What? These bare walls can do that? Are you seeing bare walls? I feel sorry for you. And what do you see? I see ships aflame, traversing the islands of Orion. We won't find a lot of mutual understanding. Come in and look around. I'd have gladly showed you what I'd like to see. But you're a grown-up already. It's alright. I've reached the pinnacle. Now I have to descend once more to the very bottom. Oops. Which one was it? This one? Nope. This one. Yeah, transcendent stuff. I think I already gave a long, heartfelt speech when we came here as the Bachelor. But, it really doesn't get much better than this in terms of video game environments. The lighting, the sort of the surreal nature, again the staircase motif, these sort of structures that have no meaning. We give them meaning though, right? We impart meaning onto all these empty projects, these weird staircases, these sort of origami cranes. They become a part of us and we sort of carry them with us. We remember the place. Or the song obviously helps us do that. The audio is like a signature. It's like a way to archive and catalogue how we feel about a place. And the Polyhedron is it's a very special place indeed. The way the text, runs along the walls, sort of building made of its own blueprints, the building made of itself. Fiendishly clever, and just you could spend all day in here. Really, just really transfixes me. I know the first time I was in here as the Bachelor, just gobsmacked. It just continually gobsmacked me the whole time. I just couldn't believe it. That a video game could create a place that was so alien, so weird, but yet also like so really so human. This is really what it is. Sort of the triumph of the human imagination, the human spirit over all of the natural obstacles of the world, whatever those may be. And however you feel about the utopianism and these kinds of ideals, at the very least when you get here, I think every player understands at least a little bit that their ideas, even if you can't agree with them, that they have weight, that they have power, that they resonate with human beings. I think something really special about this place, and I think every time I come in here I'll just wax poetic about it. Really something. And so the other thing, unlike the other characters, Clara gets early access to the powers that be. She sort of gets the lid blown off, and it's not treated like whenever Bachelor or Haruspecs come in here at the end of their runs, there's a panning camera sort of little cutscene. But here Clara just sort of gets dumped in here matter of factly and has to deal with this information. There are very few cutscenes that I'm a fan of, and I almost kind of liked this sort of prompt, just dumping of the player in this area. It is assumed probably that the player knows already by the time they've reached Clara's story that they know what's going on, that they've seen the powers that be before, but if they haven't, I would like to think this moment still holds a special amount of weight even without the cutscene. Hello. Ugh, this is awkward. Well, I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'm Measley, and she's Thrush. How did I get here? How'd you get here? You tell me. Actually, this was never supposed to happen. You're meant to be over there. Look into the sandbox. This must be a miracle, I suppose. A miracle. But you're probably the only one who can do something like that. You can work miracles, right? I keep arguing with this dumbhead here. She says we're playing with you wrong. Says you're supposed to kill and not go around saving folks. Nor do you. What? Well, we really didn't put you in that sandbox so that you'd save everyone, but you've been going at it with such vim and vigor. You must really be alive. I guess you really could save everybody. Just imagine how great that would be. So you're kind, it turns out. Of course I am. She's the mean one. Thrush. More like Crush. Well, that's so lame. Alright, I'm shutting up. Hey, no fighting over there. Better see our guest off. Yes, I'd rather be going. Go through the wall. None of this is really here. Just glass that reflects thoughts. Such crazy nonsense. Thanks. Hello. Yikes! Where have you come from? You can't be in here. What is this place? Don't you see? This is the Polyhedron. There are many places like this around, but they're hidden. You weren't supposed to see them. And why not? We're playing here, and you should be playing over there. Say, have you killed everybody yet? What? Those humble ones of yours. We've been arguing and arguing. He says you're the only one who can save all of the bound, while I say you're the only one who can kill them all off. And win. Who are you? My name is Teensy, and he's Tot. But it's better to call him Measly. And me, you can call me Thrush. How do you know who I am? I'm telling you, we're playing here. See, we're building a town in the sandbox. Now we're playing Plague. Look inside. Notice anything? I think I'm about to go crazy. And I mean it. Literally. I do think this moment still holds a lot of power. As a, meta commentary on how we deal with stories and how we relate to them. It's really, in a sense, the perfect twist for this game, but just in general, I don't think there's ever been a twist that has forced me to reconceptualize not just the story, but stories itself. It really did leave me with this hollow feeling, and then I thought about it for a while afterwards, and I sort of thought, well, does it really matter that it wasn't real? That I believed it was real, and that was what mattered. It was the emotions, the affect that mattered, the materiality of it, the temporality of it. And again, here I am today. Back up we go. So Clara's found out what the deal is, and she's found it out earlier than everyone else. So I remember from Artemy's playthrough, I think, she finds it out at a similar time. And you do get the sense that, she knows much more than she's letting on. So that moment, I think, really crystallizes our understanding of what Clara is up to and why she believes what she believes and why she's being torn in these two directions, because really it's just the argument between two storytellers who can't agree on what a character should be doing, so they just say screw it. One version of this doll is evil and one of them is good. And there's no real logic or comfort to it. It's just flipping on a dime, whatever the story needs. The story will have, which traditionally is a very frustrating way for characters to be written. But obviously, again, in this sort of meta-textual sense, meta-commentary sense, we get a lot from that interpretation, I think. Just, I could, talk about how much I love this game all day. I mean, really is my favorite. And just every time I feel like, this was pretty good, and then I just think back to the Polyhedron. I think back to my first few playthroughs of every character, and I think of how the mystery built and built and built, and how each new puzzle piece added to this fuller conception of a world that, by all rights, should not exist, but yet does, and exists very vividly indeed. Tremendous experience on many levels. Tremendous survival horror game. Tremendous narrative. Just tremendous video game. Yeah.
What?
I found out everything. Really? Amazing. You exceeded the expectations then, since no one was demanding such dedication from you. It was I who have found out everything. You have helped me there. I even feel a certain degree of gratitude. Well, so what have I found out? I doubt you know what I know now, or else you'd be seeing less arrogance out of you, you plaything. Why, no offence taken. A typical example of rushing to conclusions. You're behind the times. Truths like the one you just presented me with are no longer fashionable. That's more in the Bachelor and Haruspex' line. By the way, don't give them hints if you meet them. Let them work it out on their own. So I like this. The game itself has the assumption you already know about this. Like, you've reached this point. You've probably seen the powers that be already. So the Inquisitor is observing that, acknowledging that. Alright, so what have you found out? Summing up the conclusions drawn from your discoveries, I shall combine the causal relationships into a coherent picture. I shall reveal the arcane nature of the disease to you from a mystical standpoint. That was how it should have been revealed to you. I suppose all that I will tell you will be no news to you. Still, it will determine the wording of your verdict. Well, sum it up, and I've already found a path to victory. All these simulacra, these reflections of reflections, shall confuse me no longer. I am firm in my faith, and I am free. Oh, indeed? So tell me, where did I come from? Speak, dummy. Try to talk me to death. Are you interested? Do listen, it's really about you. So the Earth begat the town. Two entirely different worlds that have nonetheless managed to achieve a symbiotic coexistence. That was a miracle. A true miracle. Normally, civilization devours tradition. Why? People aren't inclined to be on good terms with their own history. Yet in this particular town, the impossible happened. The people prevailed over the power structures. How did it happen? As you can see, the town is small. It's made up of people, not ranks and functions. Fortuitous circumstances had enabled people to create an environment here that everyone could be happy in, but that was entirely due to a miraculous coincidence. What coincidence? It's rare that a succession of extraordinary personalities should stand at the helm for 5 generations. It's even rarer that they should have the love and respect for one another that allows them to carry on the policies of their predecessors. Here they had grown used to the miracle, and that was their undoing. They wanted to learn to control the miracles. The elder generation had constructed an environment for bringing up the young in the same spirit. They paid for it. Why? The law stipulates a harsh punishment for an attempt to capture a miracle. The disease is a means of restoring the balance. A part of the chimeric town must be destroyed and there is no turning back. The town and the miracle cannot coexist. And I swear I know what the choice should be between them. But what about me? What's going to happen to me? You are an instrument of the law, but your mission has been accomplished, and it being my mission not merely to understand you but also to rein you in, I hereby prohibit you from existing and banish you from the town. The captured miracle shall pass into oblivion. You may vanish into the earth that you came from. Go. I permit you, both of you to be exact, to die in any way you prefer. On one condition, you are forbidden from even approaching the commander. Otherwise he may fancy himself your tool, or the other way round. I don't even know which is worse. Go. Farewell. Story repeats itself. Clara has expelled me, branded me a villain, and demanded I should vanish from the face of the earth. However powerful this new enemy, it's a trifle against everything else I have to bear. Since we're no longer friends with her, should I go to the commander? He would be in the town hall. And I like this, since we're, which the we sort of either indicates, recognizing her sister or recognizing us, the player, which again is a nice change in language after that really important scene, obviously, that she's acknowledged that she is just a plaything, that she is acting in concert and symbiotic coexistence, right? Just like the town is with us. She could not exist without us, or she could not act without us. There's this really interesting, I may have talked about this before or not, I'm not sure, but I recently reread Alexander Galloway, who's a film and media scholar. He wrote a book called Gaming Essays on Algorithmic Culture, and this collection of essays, the first essay is sort of all about the different kinds of actions that you can take, and then one of those actions is the ambience act. And the ambience act is simply taking your hands off the controller or the keyboard or whatever input device you're using, and just watching the game's process. go about itself. So, in a sense, Galloway says that the game, basically, you've paused yourself, you haven't paused the game. And just that wee conceptual turn, I think, is really enough to elevate even the appreciation of a space into something that we can call an ambience act now. And within those bounds, we can engage with the game on a different level. The game is a process almost, but also the game as a world unto itself. These characters don't need our input. We could just sit here and watch them. That could be the stream, could be an ambience act. But then, of course, that's not how you play a game. It's coexistence. It's you're playing with the machine, you're playing against the machine. There's always this interplay. You're responding to the machine, and the machine is responding to you. You're both the computer is input and output, and you are also input and output. I thought that was a really valuable point. All right, how about we trade? You don't have a schmouder, but I do have a lot of junk. You can have flowers to free up a spot, and I'll take that. And we'll see the commander. Hello.
We fought a just, defensive war, and now they want to turn us into a punitive expedition, into corpsmen.
Here you are, sweet child. I've heard a lot about you. So you are the girl who's cured dozens of people with her holiness, while also being persecuted and hounded by it for the unruly rabble? Yes, that's right. The base rabble always trample what they don't understand, always repay for a heroic deed with ingratitude. They ought to be spoken to in a different language, and I swear they will be. From now on, I'm not letting you out of my sight. You need reliable protection. There's no need for that. See, I'm unharmed. That's because I'm invulnerable. I won't allow anyone to harm you. No one's ever said anything like this to me before.
My arms are stiff.
Why have you come to me? Should I take it as a sign? Inquisitor Aglaia Lilac has prohibited me from seeing you. Why? The Inquisitor fears and detests me. I must say, it's mutual. Most of all, I'm worried that the mission to save the town, or to destroy it, however you prefer to think of it, may degenerate into a long-range artillery duel. She's surely going to plot and scheme. But she must follow your orders, mustn't she? On the contrary, my duty calls on me to obey the Inquisitor, but Lilac is always playing her own game. I've heard that she was once condemned to death for it. I suppose they pardoned her in the end. She'll make a dishonest decision, one dictated not by her duty, but by covert calculation. Both of the healers have clearly been poisoned by her deception. But why is she overestimating my role in this so much? She isn't overestimating. I had been greatly impressed with you long before I saw you. How is that possible? On our way here, a lieutenant told me a legend about the holy sisters in arms of the warriors. He spoke of medieval wars, of pilgrimages, of the power of the Holy Spirit that led quiet and unassuming young girls, orphans, beggars, and peasants, to call the might of great armies to a lofty duty. I was profoundly moved by his story. It was a mere coincidence. Coincidences like this don't happen by chance. No, I gave it a lot of thought as we were travelling here. His story had come at the right moment. My life was approaching a watershed. Yes, I've staked everything on this military operation. My mission, my soul, my own destiny, and our country's. I need a voice from above, because I don't know who to listen to anymore. Speak on? Yes, my deployment to this plague-stricken little town was an expedition into hell. I was meant to die here, and so it will happen. The old Alexander Block will die, but a new one will emerge from this place. From this town, an army will set out on a glorious march, in the name of truth. I just hope it doesn't end in disaster. Cool, my work for today is done. I am still not completely alone. A single tiny hook is left in the town, holding me steady. I am not speaking of a sister anymore, but of the immortal man. Simon Kane is the last person I should see here. And as much as I love the quest log, in the mind map, sorry, in Pathologic 2. The quest log in this one. This has some really great lines in it. Really make you look forward to, makes you want to keep playing. It's like a page turner or something. Like, oh, I said I'd finish at the end of this chapter, but I guess I got to keep going. Just, yes, really hooks you in, to borrow the game's language. And I do like as well how Clara's story is overtly cyclical. She gets kicked out by authority figure after authority figure. I think it really does work. You're running away, aren't you? I can't talk to you. Look at you go. She's sprinting. Going fast. I don't even know if there's nothing else really left to do. She's getting her steps in too. She is. Look at her go. Be setting a world record before she knows it. Safest place to sleep might technically be at Capella's house. There's nothing left for me to do today at the moment. I might get a letter later on. But what's the time? Yeah, it's only 11, so it is possible a letter will arrive in the afternoon. We'll kill this robber here. Very consistent in their stupidity, which is something I appreciate. Yeah. Okay, I deserve that one, I'm sorry. Gotcha. I'll take all that. So I guess patrolmen do still spawn as like patrollers, so I think it's a much rarer spawn. And obviously not anywhere near as reliable as all the ones that could be found at the entrance to each district. What prices do you have today? Hugely expensive, no thank you. So yeah, we'll hit the hay for a minute. If nothing comes up, I'll either just sleep through to the end of the day, or loot a house and then sleep through to the end of the day. So if we sleep, we'll save 3 hours again. See if we get any letters. Cool, letter. In search of Dankovsky. I have to ask you for a favour once again. They're much embittered by the events that took place yesterday. Daniel went to the town's district to speak to Andre. After that, for some unknown purpose, he wanted to inspect the houses next to the Twireen Shebeen. Please tell him he must leave there at once. And then, Aglaya asking me for a favour after she just like said, "Nah, you can go outside and die." Where is he? He's working in a house next to the Lump, the Olgimsky family home. I mean, I can do that. Although, yeah, whichever one of these houses is filled with butchers. It's gonna be awkward if we go back to Aglaya and be like, "Hey, so I saved the Harrispix." Nope. Instantly regretted that decision. If we go this way... Nope. Oh, they hit me in the back of the head. I am quite hungry. All I've got is milk and lemons. Oh, I got a fish. I have a fish. Next to the lump. She could be more descriptive. I don't even want to know what was going on in there. Maybe this one? Feels like the one that's sort of set apart from the others. Maybe they would make it that one. Nope. I thought wrong. What other houses are there? These ones, I guess. Nope. This is a constant change in music right now. My favorite kind of house. Because it has the bed in it. You are a worthy foe. But you're no match for my game-breaking abilities. Guess I can loot this house while I'm here, right? Yep. I'll take that. Bread. I'll definitely take that. Just bread someone's left out on the counter. Sure, it's good. Alright, back up we go. Hello. Oh, they might be able to hit me from here, I don't know. No, they can't. So this is just like, this is an analysis video, but this is also like a self-defense class. So if you are being confronted by any attacker, just climb up onto the bed frame and they will not be able to reach you, because their pathfinding will be really bad. Just if anyone breaks into your house, that's what you got to do. Some pretty good stuff in this house. Which one's the better one? This is... oh no, these are the tablets, right? Yeah, that's for boosting immunity. Could have one of my immunity boosters. So Harrisbeck's wasn't in here. Bathroom. Back outside we go. Hello, rat. No match for my mind powers. It was a house next to the lump. Very... there's not many other houses to check. It could be the house of the living, maybe. Hello. Probably should have saved, actually. Nope. Problem is that these houses are like split into two sections, so you could be in like one half of the house technically. But he's not. The fruitless search for Artemi Burak. Hello. Oh no, that's this house. Definitely this house. Ugh, dead again. So we'll just turn around and straight across, I think. Yeah, was it this one? I think it was this one. Overwrite that. Yeah, this one. Go, 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 go. No dear. So if you don't have a bed frame handy, a table is just as good. just keep that in mind too. There's some subtleties in the strategy, but you know, mostly pretty consistent. You can see, you know, that they try, but they just can't quite figure out how to jump. So these guys have a lot of health. I would not beat these guys without this. I really wish I knew where my gun was. I feel like Sabarov probably cheated me out of it, knowing Sabarov. Okay, is that everyone? I think that's everyone. A lemon. I needed one of those. Should be this playthrough's catchphrase. A lemon. Alright, up we go. Where are you, Artemy? Which room are you standing blankly in? Clara and Lemons are a romantic comedy. Hey, yo, first, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, there he is. In the very last room in the house, because of course you are.
A commander like this belongs to the front line. Who sent him on this inglorious errand?
So Bodo's children are not an obstacle for you. Well, then it's one or the other. Either you've come to me with kind intentions, or you are my death. If it's the latter, you won't get to me as quickly as you got to them. But if it's the former, do not harbour hard feelings, for they do not know what they're doing. Yes, different chat log on screen. This is my first stream hosted with OBS, so I'm still learning things and trying to find a good layout. I would appreciate feedback later. I want to warn you, Barak, the Bachelor's after you. He plans to he'll find you soon, and who knows what'll happen to you then. Huh? He won't be able to deal with me on his own. But you've off my companions, you deadly girl. Is he surrounded by henchmen as usual? He is, our respects, but they can't strike you, so why would you need them if not to kill them? Why would you warn me? You know full well there aren't many reasons for me to trust you. I'm warning you so that you have more. It's more what? It's high time you realized not only evil walks this earth. More trust, right? I see. Go away, Burak. The sooner the better. Remember, I bring good tidings. No matter what Aglaya's intentions are, she's going to pay me a reward. Yes, she is. Even though she just told me to go and die. Where was the Bachelor? Is he on the way? Tanner's. The houses next to the Twire and Shibane. Yeah, I don't know if I'll bother looking for him today. Alright. Through the safe route we go. Alright. Doing pretty well. Almost been, 2 days down, almost been going for 3 hours, so that's not bad. Especially considering I had no recollection of where I was up to when we started. So we'll get to start day 10 at least. I don't know if we'll finish day 10, but should just be one more stream of this size will be enough to finish Changeling's route, which would be good. So, everything of interest. I've got some of that, so I can have these. I'll take that. Tired, huh? Not everyone can be Olympic sprinters like those people sprinting into the table before, or the wall. Really, I've had a lot of that today. Don't know, there must be something in the air. So if we come back, I presume she'll still let us cash in the reward even though she hates our guts. I don't know what the reward's going to be, but... I feel you, 2005 horror game NPC, I feel you. Relatable. They're all tired, look at them. Everything is hard. Life is hard. Everything is very stressful. And I'm hungry again. Got the bread now though. Hello.
What?
I've cleansed the crude sprawl. You can see for yourself it's clean. Well done, my girl. Here, look. Let me look into your eyes. Look. Cool. What did I... Gamma tablets. Oops. No, I want to eat my bread. I don't want to put my bread on the ground. What else do you have for me?
So this
Found the horror specs and warned him like you asked. The part where his beastly bodyguards almost tore me to pieces is, I suppose, too obvious to mention. Won't forget this, girl. You've done a good deed. It goes without saying that I'm going to reward you, and from now on trust you a little more. Thank you, yeah. You weren't very friendly to me just before, but I guess you're willing to... All is forgiven now, right? All is forgiven. Is there any sense... Let's see, I could do that and then pick up the tablet, I suppose, yeah. Okay, I'll find somewhere to sleep, and then we might as well advance to the next day. Don't think there's much point finding Bachelor. We've got a lot of money, we're doing alright for resources, and medicine and food and stuff mostly. Was it the... You wanted to inspect the houses. So what, it could be these ones. Yes, probably not worth it. Go to sleep. Get day 10 underway. Sleep for a wee bit. See if any other letters roll in first before we skip to the end. No other letters, nothing else to do. Have my dried meat. Eat my crackers. And go to day 10. Whoops. One more.
The day is over. Your timely efforts allowed your supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theatre.
Cool. Off to the theatre we go. Oh, we just stayed in Maria's house, who was sick. Absolutely everywhere is infected. On this side anyway. It's looking pretty clear over here now. Let's just try and get out of here without being infected. Which is probably easier said than done. I don't want to have to use my other schmouder. At least not just yet. We'll go watch this performance. Plodding along. It's been nice to play this again. Nice to stream again. Nice to see everybody. Nice to have so many people turn out. I appreciate it. Turn up for my sentimental ramblings about the Polyhedron. Alright, Mark, this better be a good theatre exercise. My reputation's, yeah, solid. Here we go.
My orders were to destroy every building in this town and then to shoot everyone who survives the bombardment. The military only comes when there's nothing to fix anymore. I'm keen on breaking that habit, though. I know that the people that can change the course of the catastrophe have been working here for some time. We will only destroy the thing pointed at by a healer who can argue in favor of taking such action.
How about not shooting at all?
If we don't shoot anything at all, the consequences will be devastating. You wanted freedom of choice. So choose a massive shelling or a single pinpoint strike. One way or another, we'll put an end to this circus.
I really like the music that was made for these just one-off bits. Right. Cool. So we can go and see if the commander's got anything for us today immediately. It will no doubt be something to do with all of this. Red on the map, we'll probably have to go into the dangerous section because that's just how this works. Some important mission in the middle of the infected area. And we'll probably get infected again, which will be loads of fun for everyone involved. What's the time? 12:40. Whatever you do, prudence is always necessary. He doesn't have anything for us yet. No, yeah. There's a lot of interesting sort of things to consider about time in video games. I think time in horror games really one of my favorite concepts. I think it's one of the reasons in retrospect here why I was so drawn to this one and why it remains so vividly interesting, because I think in acknowledging the passing of time, I think you also acknowledge the way in which a player has chosen to spend their time. And as silly as that seems, I mean, if you spend your day like walking around and you're watching the sun go down in, you know, quote unquote real time, within the fictional time, if that makes any sense, you are sort of experiencing this continuous immersion, this recognition that your choices do matter, that the way... Who's seen me? Whoa. Don't shoot me, please. Interrupted my my analysis. Oh. That guy's walking by like nothing is happening. Gotcha. Good evening. But yeah, I think the recognition, it ties into what we were talking about before. I think the sort of recognition that the world doesn't belong to you, that you're just another inhabitant. I think that's a really valuable experience to get from a game. That the game doesn't just exist as power fantasy, but the game exists as something else. It's something that extends a culture or a place or a thing or what have you, a method of being that isn't just go here and defeat bad guys. As fun as that is, like, don't get me wrong, I love a good go here and defeat bad guys game, but I think a game that simulates something more complex within social boundaries. 1,348 for an egg, what a ripoff. Such as, you know, local egg prices fluctuating. I think you have something that's really worth talking about, really worth thinking about. for how it consciously interrogates these things. I mean, there are a lot of horror games I talk about and I think about, and a lot of what they do is unconscious. Like a lot of the horror game, I think it's like the Silent Hill 4. I always felt like I did that big video on it, but I felt that there was some stuff that if there'd been more time or more thought or more something, I don't know, like the game could have been elevated just that bit higher. Like I love that game. It's also one of my favorites, but if there was more conscious interrogation, I think, of the ideas within. I know a lot of people critique, games that are sort of too on the nose, but I really feel like there's a point of subtlety of theme that almost borders on coincidence sometimes, happy coincidence, and you get a game that doesn't really achieve what it could have. It could have been something more. Like that thesis. I'll have to find the name of that thesis. Survival, yes. The name of the thesis I was talking about. The name almost came to me, but then I lost it. But talking about the ideology of the game and how the creators of the game perceive society, or at least the society working in an algorithmic fashion. The prices fluctuating and people being pitted against you in conversation and in combat. The gameplay rhythms feed into how we perceive the world. And yeah, like a big part of that gameplay rhythm is time, right? Time is crucial to everything, really. Lemon, yes. We need time almost broken down for us, right? We understand time best, I think, when we make it sort of discrete sections. I mean, we've got in here we've got days and then hours, minutes, so on. So even within Pathologic, you have this formal use of time, and it signals to us how the narrative unfolds, right? We get these structures that we already understand placed into a narrative, and it's through those temporal structures that we come to conceive of the narrative as existing within time, and therefore time, in a sense, helps us conceive of our own sort of life stories, life narratives, whatever you want to call them. Because we do, like, we tell ourselves stories about our lives and about other people's lives, and we make it into a story, even when it's not. I mean, it doesn't have a discrete, theme or anything like that. It doesn't have, people around you aren't just characters; they're fully fledged people as well. They have all these thoughts and feelings. Characters are just characters. And this all sounds like really simple stuff, but I don't know. I feel like until you discuss it, or at least for me anyway, until you think about it, just sort of go about these kinds of experiences like unconsciously. Like, oh, this really works, but like I don't know why it really works. It's cool, but oh, I went into the wrong house. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot to consider in game design anyway, is what I'm saying. And I think there needs to be consideration paid to how we actually construct these games, and thoughtfulness as to how we consume them. I wrote an article for the blog last year, I think, and I just talked about how uncomfortable it was that I was being fed like Call of Duty, like what was it, Modern Warfare 3? Was that the reboot of Modern Warfare 3? Was that last year? Being fed those ads, and at the same time, you just flick over to a news website and you've got this free access to the suffering of real people unfolding before you in real time, and for these characters in the ad to be joking about, you know, oh, I better get my kill streak up, you know, and they're brandishing all these, you know, this military paraphernalia. It's really distinctly, it's uncomfortable because there's no critique embedded within the advertisement or anything like that, or within the game, as far as I understand. It all seems like a fairly uncritical presentation of military-industrial complex and all of that. It's just, yeah, I do feel like I hope that I add value to the discussion about video games, and I hope that people can point to me or share my videos now or in the future and say, look, there are other ways to talk about video games, and there are things that we have to consider. I mean, obviously there are a tremendous amount of people doing really tremendous work that people should be aware of within game studies, within ludology, but I like to think I'm almost, you know, I'm a portal to some of that stuff, and I also like to hope that I'm adding to that as well, that I am one of those really interesting people, because there's a lot of stuff that really I've only just begun to scratch the surface on, really, in my own thinking, and I talk about this a bit in my upcoming video, but really you're sort of, in a way, you're like watching my academic thinking unfold in real time, really. Thank you, Future Cityscape. Yeah, thank you. Had a lot of thought to the games you cover. Thank you. I just, yeah, like the reason sometimes it takes me so long to play. Watch my academic thinking gets beat up by Robert. Yeah. The reason it takes me so long to produce videos, sometimes even to like stream a game, like I want to live up to the game, you know. I don't want to rock up to a game and have nothing to say. I think this is the same layout of house, isn't it? Yeah, I'm screwed now. Please stop. Ow. Have mercy. Why do you have so much health? That didn't go very well for me. And that's, I think there's still something really funny about playing a game in real time and analyzing it, because I think there also you get a window into, like, you can't take these things 100% seriously all the time. I mean, as important as it is to conceive of these games as really important cultural texts and things that people interface with and learn from and take messages from and inform how we live our lives, they're also, like, they're just silly as well, you know. I'm jumping up on beds to avoid getting, like, murdered by robbers. I mean, only in video games, right? This lemon. Yeah, I'll just say lemon in the middle of analysis, just because, you know, there's a lemon, and the world must know. Needle. I'm kind of screwed. I need some health. I don't have any bandages left. Punch me in the back of the head. What's the lemon streak at now? We'll see in a sec. I think it's like 26. We've got a good stockpile. I wish I could actually do anything with them. I don't really think, unless that's where Artemis getting the blood from the panacea from. No, 29. But just remember that eating lemons actually increases how hungry you are. So just don't eat lemons expecting to be filled up. I can't believe again. Lemons boost immunity, lower thirst. If you eat 30 lemons, you can tank COVID. You just see that you've become positive, and you're like, all right, you just sit down at your dining table. I knew I bought these lemons for something. Just imagine the saddest day, just slowly going through 30 raw lemons, sitting at your dining table. Now that's the authentic pathologic experience. When life gives you lemons, eat anything else to avoid the 5% hunger malice. Yeah, see, Pathologic is teaching us stuff about the world, informing how we live our lives. I think maybe I'll just go to sleep, to be honest. I'll just sleep off that beating. I'm sure Anna will love to have me as a guest, just bleeding all over her bed sheets. Pathologic taught me that taking drugs is fun. And that drugs can readily be available from any number of just random children on the streets. So, be sure to stop and ask, because you never know. Yeah, we'll sleep for 6 hours. We'll recover some health. Cool. Now we are ultra hungry. Do I have anything except lemons? No. Milk and a cracker. 6,880 people dead. Day 10, in which Clara deciphers the hidden purpose of her miracles and the Changeling accepts the inevitability of death. Yes, it's an important thing to accept. Officer, I'm only bartering drugless children to avoid a plague. You don't understand. This was a preemptive measure. Sure, no one's sick right now, but who knows what tomorrow will bring? No. I just keep getting killed like out of nowhere. The game does not want me to continue. It's like, well, you want to finish this game? No, I don't think so. You're gonna play Pathologic for the next 2 years. Okay. Right, we're back in here. So there's no sense going up there because I don't have enough health to even tank one hit from them. Pathologic is where I learned plague travels by clouds you can see, but only if you approach them. Well, yeah, you got to be close enough. I mean, I learned that lesson the hard way during COVID. Yeah, just driving down the street and then, boy, was my face red when a giant cloud of screaming faces hurtled towards me. Up we go. Hello again. I just died. Gonna hijack your bed again. That's why we had to isolate. The clouds were just moving slowly outside in the same patterns over and over again. See, this game really has taught everyone in chat a lot. And it's important to recognize. I'm gonna take the more powerful. Which one is the more powerful one? I'll take the Novocaine for now. 6 hours. It's even worse when you take public transit, try dodging a plague cloud in a bus with 20 people. The whole bus just like jumps from one side of the bus to the other back and forwards. But as silly as it is, there's no knife to the back of the head this time, no. As silly as it is, I think it does. The gameplay loop, the algorithm, does have a message, does have intent behind it. Does actually manage to simulate a plague, yeah. You have to initiate dialogue with someone so that time stopped and you can plan your next step. Wouldn't that just be ideal? Even if it was someone, you know, you weren't really that interested in getting in a conversation with, you just be like, I'm just going to stall death for a second. Every conversation we have just stops time, so... I really gotta think about my, think about my video essay I'm making. Just give me some more time here. Right, so... Knockin'. You're famous, come at once. Everybody's searching for you still, although not as much as they did before. On the good side of the canes now, so better watch the Inquisitor. Yikes. Getting the plague is preferable to talking with boss people, to be honest. Top 10 facts about life Pathologic taught me. Like to make your school project. You just go up to the front of the class. Alright, tell the class what you learned from Pathologic. Your field trip to the town on Gorkin. I learned that I can kill rats with my psychic powers. And that if you kill people with knives on the street, people love you. I'm always slightly nervous around these soldiers as well, because I have had one shoot me in the head before by complete accident. So I just kind of let them do their thing. People clap when you kill a bad person. We all just know who is bad automatically. I feel like that's something when I make a game like this, I really, you know, we're trying to avoid that kind of automatic thing, or try and subvert it somehow. As I said at the start of the stream, I do think the responsibility thing is better than just saying good or evil. But there's still steps you can take. All knife salesmen are inherently bad, right? Exactly. Exactly. Can't trust a knife salesman. But it's hard to drive them, you know, out of your home either, because they got all the knives, so they're pretty dangerous. Once I had to take a 4-hour bus ride to another campus at the college I was going to, and spent the whole time sitting next to an Adam Sandler-esque businessman who sang along very poorly to ABBA and refused to stop despite the driver's urging. I like that it wasn't you, it was the driver, and they still refused. That does sound like a less than enjoyable experience. Why would you sell knives if you weren't a bad person? Well, you know, valid question. That's what Pathologic's taught us. Hello.
So, Bachelor wants to know how the tower works.
Have you heard the news already? What news? Reuben's made a discovery about you. You should see how they're fussing now, walking about and bribing the kids and sending out messages as if we were on the eve of a battle, no less. And it's all to do with you. Why do you think so? They're all Clara this, Clara that, and how it'll be the worst thing in the world if you slip away. 2 of the lads have heard Reuben and the Bachelor having an argument about you. So heated they almost got into a fight. Pity about the almost. What do they want from me anyway? I'm telling you, Stark Reuben's found out something about you. Or maybe you've done something nasty? Not that he'd be in a position to judge you if you did. Pot calling the kettle black and all that. Same goes for the rest of those gentlemen. And you, what do you think? I'm going to find out what's going on. Well, I've warned you, so my work here is done. Will you join our gang? I might. Reuben is in the quote-unquote secret prosecutorium. The other thing that Pathologic taught me is that if a building on a map is a different color, you can enter it. If it's not, or it belongs to a special person. If it's not, then, well, just, you know, generic townspeople. Alright, back we go. Fortunately, the warehouse district isn't infected today, which is a welcome reprieve. Definitely the worst infected district to go through. Just plague clouds everywhere. Right, we'll go for another 20 minutes or so. So we'll see what we can get done in 20 minutes. We're on day 10, so that's pretty good. We should end up being sort of halfway through day 10. You're not Reuben.
Should I just give up?
Oh, it's you. Well, as you can see, all that's left of Reuben is a curt note. Who invited you? What are you up to? Me? Nothing special. The only thing of interest that's keeping me here now is the role Reuben's discovery will play in determining the fate of the Polyhedron. What discovery? Reuben believes he has uncovered your secret. He reached that conclusion after studying the inner structure of Simon Kane. And where is he himself? Gone to the Crucible with the good news. And considering that the only good news as far as the Kanes are concerned would be that Simon is still alive, he probably knows how to resurrect Simon and save the town from the commander's cannons. Otherwise it's suicidal. Yeah, smug is the right word. Suicidal, why? Because the glorious Kane clan's cards have been reshuffled. Georgie and Victor have faded away. Family tradition requires them to perform some kind of duty that will soon, if not already, result in their demise. Maria's calling the shots now. Does she have a reason to dislike Reuben? I can foresee that she'll have a reason to dislike his discovery. Maria is quite content with the way things stand now. If Georgie and Victor sacrifice themselves to the memory of their departed, guess who gets to rule? I see. Does this mean Reuben knows how to bring Simon back? Simon is not simply dead, he was pulverized into atoms, and drops of him are now coursing through the veins of several hundred people. Even a miracle worker can't resurrect someone who's in this state, which means that Reuben is proposing a half measure that will hardly impress Maria enough to make her refuse. Will you go with me? I have other plans. Reuben is doing one stupid thing after another. The fact he's relying completely on you but still hasn't let you know about it is more proof that Reuben is primarily seeking to atone for his wrongdoing against the Kanes. I wouldn't want to interfere. So I'm going to have to go to that horrible place again. So, again, we'll have to go to the Crucible, but Maria is sick and she's in the middle of all of this. So, back we go, I guess. Bachelor, the kind of person to practice saying Kane clan's cards 5 times fast before a conversation just to seem superior. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that wee tongue twister in there. Yeah, he's tried to trip me up. Knew I was reading it aloud. Won't get me that easily. I don't have any food, no. Just peanuts, and I don't want to eat those. Is she running or walking? I think just walking. She might have schmouder. I can see. Oh boy, 2 coins. Might be trade. No, you don't have anything. That's alright. Just need some food. I'll go to the butchers. Go to both butchers actually. They'll both be expensive, but maybe one of them will have something cheap-ish. I don't want the fresh meat though, that was like almost $3,000 or something. While I'm here I can see if the commander has a mission for me yet. If he does, I imagine it will be sending me into the infected area, so I might as well try and double up. Nope. Got a lot of things. Bread? Yeah, that's too expensive for me. That's too expensive. Milk. Dried meat. I'll take all of that, thanks. Just eat it all in front of him as a power move, and then leave. See if he's got anything to say. It's got very good music too. Here we go.
What?
Nope, nothing for me yet. No one else has sent me any little letters. Just... right. Dreamt of her tonight just like the night before. She was all tortured and torn. All she did was look at me. She didn't say a word this time. She was hiding in the house yet again, cowering in the corner away from the windows. The crowd was roaring outside. They shouted. They made all manner of racket. This time it wasn't her they were after. celebrating the arrival of the bull that appeared unexpectedly in the middle of an empty lot. Some of them screamed that the boss has risen from beneath the ground. The others shouted that it came down from heaven, only to be pierced by the stake that was prepared for it down below. Right, today is the quest where the Bachelor does something stupid, I think, and kills the... That was the mistake that we had to make in the Bachelor's campaign, which was to kill the bull in the bone stake lot. I think it's day 10. Not just kill it, but burn it. It was the last Auroch bull, if I remember correctly. Chugging along. Yeah, it's a really evocative image, I think. Just surreal and evocative. Really, really good. Okay, here we go. It begins the gauntlet. Hello. Rat. I would appreciate it if you didn't. Hi, I slept in here this morning, so I'm fine. What am I seeing again? Going in, dodge the... No! Don't talk to him again. A day will be enough for me. Whew, dodge the rat, alright. Hello.
The foreman has found something out. He's not himself.
No, I'm not taking you seriously anymore. Tell me, Maria, where did they take Reuben? Don't you dare touch me, pest. Can't shut the door on you. You can enter any house, but I just gave you medicine, but I will protect my own person from your attentions. Tell me where Reuben is and I'll leave. Such a shame. I'm losing strength by the minute, and all of the servants capable of bearing arms are off taking Reuben away. Else I'd have made short work of you. But why? The two of you are in it together, aren't you? Yes, he said he was going to carry out his bloody plan using your hands. But don't you worry. When my domestics are back, I'll send them after you immediately. They'll never chase up to me. Maria has decided to destroy Reuben, but he may still be alive. My final confederate, the commander, will help to set him free. Alright, save, and back out into hell we go. Assailed by every plague cloud under the sun. Whoa. That Pathologic still compels me to... Like I made that noise several times. Whoa! Hey now! Plague cloud, robber, knife, lemon. Life's great dangers. So now we can go to the commander. And see what we can get out of this side quest. We'll see if we can finish the side quest. Go for another 10 minutes at the most. See if we can finish it, and then next time should be able to start the next area. Next main quest. Next time. The real plague was the lemons we found along the way. So that's the moral of the story. It's like when you're playing a racing game and you turn left and right in your chair, because that obviously helps. Yeah, you like lean into it.
That does it. I'm gonna break soon.
Yes, what business brings you here? Has the doctor, Stanislav Reuben, been brought here? He was likely accompanied by several armed people. Yes, indeed. A giant of a man dressed in leather. He was dragged along by 12 people. Was he really a doctor? What had he done to earn such honours? Yes, he's a doctor. What happened to him? They demanded in an insolent manner that we place him under arrest. I prohibited that and demanded an explanation from them. I ordered all of them brought here. They refused. A gunfight ensued. We shot 4 of them and captured 3. The rest managed to vanish with the prisoner amid the commotion. May I talk to the men you captured? You may. I will issue an order to let you into the jail, but be careful. They say it's dangerous inside. Infection. I can't contract the disease. Sure you can't. Zero durability. What else have I got? Repellent cloak. I'll put my gloves on.
Need to go back to the front.
And boost my immunity to full now. The squelching noise that it makes as well. Horrible. Very visceral. Hello. You're free now. I said I wanted to die, didn't I? Enough temptations for me, I don't need a confessor. Were you among those who accompanied Reuben? Yes, I was. How'd you get here? I was covering the retreat of my comrades, and I'm proud of it. Where did they take Reuben? Tell me and I'll get you out of here. No, it'll be the other way around. You get me out of here and then I'll tell you, I promise I will. You won't get a chance to break that promise. Wait for me. I unlocked your cell, but okay. What do you want, like a letter of permission? People in this town just so set in their ways. Hello again. Time to let that prisoner go. Why do you need him? He promised to say where Reuben had been taken. Yes, let him speak while facing the barrel of a rifle. Why release a dangerous rascal with violent proclivities? I promised him freedom. I will do as you ask, at my own risk, and from now on you can always ask me for help. You need protection. Thank you. Go to the prisoner. I'll order him released. He'll take my word for it. Why didn't he take my word for it before? Oh wait, let's see. Already outside. You shouldn't breathe prison air for too long. Have you been told what the orders are yet? They're letting you go. Speak. There's one more place in this town that has sturdy bars on windows. It's in the works. They used to imprison those Luddite workers there. Superstitious steppe folk would often sabotage the machines, and you know the place I'm talking about, right? No, where is it? A cellar under the rolling mill. Look here, I'll show you. Thank you. Another infected area. Off we go. So we'll do this. Save Reuben, provided he's actually there this time. And then I will head off for the day, I imagine. Give my voice a rest. But I had a lot of fun. I feel like I've actually got some buzz and some energy today, which has been nice. And I can obviously play my favourite game helps. Alrighty, what's the best way to get in here? Probably in that way. We'll try it. Depends if there's a stationary plague cloud loitering outside or not. I like it. The rat doesn't accelerate towards anyone else to kill them except me. No one else offends it. Just me apparently. Okay. Let's see here. This baby can go 0 to 60 in 1.2 seconds. That is the newest model of rat. Okay, I think it's this one. This is where the bars are. Ugh, hello.
I hope Aglaya finds a way to preserve the town. If for no other reason than her stubbornness.
Ugh, not you. If not me, then who? What happened here? Can't you see yourself? I was walking out of my lair, was passing by this workshop when I heard a noise, and there were those 6 or 7 men dragging Stark away. I had to take on them. Sadly, I didn't help Stark in the end, couldn't push my way through to him. They've taken him again? Yes, and got away. I was pinned down by 3 of them, or was it 4? The others took him away. I gave them quite a thrashing, but got roughed up myself. Looks like a damaged knee and a broken ankle. That's just standing on. Gah! But perhaps it'll be alright. I just wish I could get Stark out. Could you tell Vlad the Younger at the very least? Where have they taken him? I think they were shouting about going to Spinny Yarn Square. Is that the one where the theatre is? Yes, I can guess why. There's a certain place there. I wandered into it once. A maze underneath the knots. Vlad the Younger had made one of the creep holes when he dug his well, and the other one was on the rear side behind the theatre. It was there that I saw that creature, that apparition, the Rat Prophet. The Rat Prophet was there? Yes. Did he show you the way out? I don't know. The exit didn't lead into the theatre itself, but a little way behind it. Search there. Or maybe summon this rat devil for help. You must know how to get to that creep hole. I don't want to. I'd rather manage on my own. Just everywhere you go. Reuben is not there. Where's Reuben? Not here. Might have to reach the tunnel and then save. I'll see if I can speed through it. If I die, I'll just finish it. But we'll speed. Run, Clara, run. Fortunately, the theatre isn't infected today, so I don't have to contend with any more plague clouds up above ground anyway. Can't remember if below ground gets properly infected or not. I feel like there's a certain point where it does, but I feel like the guys with knives are the more pressing danger. So you run away from me putting my hands up, but if a guy getting shot behind you, don't even flinch. Let's keep going. She's really sprinting. She's going as fast as her legs can carry her. I love the judgmental look of that kind of that particular townsperson. Hands on hips, pointed look, disapproving stare. Yay. It's everyone's favourite little rat in a tux. Lo and behold, what do you want, Plague? Do you see Reuben being brought here? I have witnessed quite a few mysterious events. That one was among them. It may have taken place in the future, or maybe the recent past. Which would you choose? I always choose the future. Careful, it may be a bad call. What do you need Reuben for? Going to decide his fate, as was preordained. Reuben rests underground, and it doesn't seem like he's getting out of there anytime soon. Are you sure you want to join him? I am. Help! Why have you done this to me, Rat Prophet? No! Damn you, Rat Prophet. Can I even get at it? What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? This is the perfect way to end today's stream, honestly. What is going on? Heck, what? I've never seen this before. This is insane. See, kids, when you don't have a better at table, just jump on the person you plan to do psychic damage to. Reuben, you weren't restrained in any way. You just stood there and watched that happen. This better be good.
What?
Are you a ghost? No. I almost was. You know, I've been thinking about you all this time. See, they're very touching. Do you know what your hands are capable of doing? Yes, I work miracles and heal the sick. You transform blood, Clara. You could turn any of the bound into the kind of being that even Simon was not. I don't know how it happens, but your hands enrich a person's blood with corpuscles that don't occur in ordinary people. This blood can fight the disease, perhaps. Now listen to me. Barak has uncovered the secret to his father's panacea. Or panacea, if you will. He was running short on blood. He'd looked everywhere, but couldn't find a being whose blood would combine all the necessary qualities. Blood that could stop the bacteria from multiplying and smother the disease. And so, my hands create that kind of blood? Yes. Simon, the all but perfect human being, had the same blood, but it was weak. Simon was very old. In all the other respects, his blood was like what Burak sought after, a holy blood, which he still desires, still tries to wrestle from foreman Oyen. What does this mean? That means that if we agree, we can defend the town from both the disease and the army cannons. So here's where Clara's ending comes in. Here's a way. You can transform bound volunteers. Their blood will then be spent to make the panacea. It's cruel, but some of the bound will agree. Why do we specifically need the bound? I suppose the predisposition in their blood was what made them bound in the first place. Perfect people with perfect blood. Oh, so you're a perfect person, are you? Stay humble, Reuben. We have to find volunteers among the bound who'd sacrifice themselves. Simple people from the street won't do. That's been verified. So the town's going to turn into kind of a shrine demanding continuous sacrifice? There's even something lofty about it. Many will agree to atone for the wrongs they've inflicted upon the town in their lifetimes. There is, after all, no shortage of such villainous characters here. Bad Grief, Yulia, the Sabarovs, Anna, even yours truly. Do I need to give any further examples? You could easily think of a half-dozen more yourself. I must think it over. Too terrible. Too risky. I like the hesitation as well there. Clara isn't fully on board with it immediately. I think it adds more of a human dimension to her character. Before today, I was making rounds of the people. Now I am making rounds of the town. My journey is over. I witnessed the seeds of righteousness within the deepest chasms of evil. I was unable to find a single place that deserved to be destroyed. But what shall I do then? Can I bring back the victims I have condemned? Can I save the ones that died because of me? Is it really within my power to perform a true miracle? What was the point of repeating history if everything was known in advance? What made them say that I was the only one able to escape? The key to victory, and the key to my freedom, is lost on the road I have travelled. Here are my hands. Time to act. That's where we'll finish for today. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to get back into it. Hopefully next time I'm just going to keep playing Pathologic consecutively. We'll plow through that, then we'll jump back into either Yakuza or Termina. But yeah, really hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it, whether it was entertaining or informative or what have you. Really value you watching, stopping by. The other news is that I have to share is I now have a Discord. So if you have a Patreon account and you sign up to two of the higher tiers, so not the first dollar tier, but the higher ones, you'll have access to my Discord. As you just have to link your Patreon and Discord accounts together. And I'm, I always check in, happy to chat there, say hi, etc., etc. Really appreciate everyone's support. I will see everyone next time. Discord, we didn't send a stream notification, shaking my head. I forgot to set that up. That's a good point. Probably set that up too. I will do that later. But appreciate everyone's support. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time.